Reach. The army of God, we here to clean up the problems. Preach. That fervent heat, some more on the beat. So who finna pay for this blood in the streets? Sheesh. They said the revolution wouldn't be televised, but we stand today and got the petrified. Our own lives we willing to jeopardize for the word of God, the saints to weaponize. We the dry bones that the text describe, the prophecy that got them mesmerized. My real Jews gon' stand the test of time, but the ones that bug and push the pesticide. We in the tabloids, y'all in your feelings. We standing up to fight for our people, cause we tired of the killers. We going live in a minute, we here to rise with the remnant. Y'all see we obviously different, chosen for this 144, just how it was written. We hit the block in the thousands, deep. From Detroit to Ghana, from old block back to the islands. Reach. The army of God, we here to clean up the problems. Preach. That fervent heat, some more on the beat. So who finna pay for this blood in the streets?
Yeah, I'm with my crew and my posse. Just got back from Kumasi. Kindly, somebody find me. I'm in your hood with bishops and deacons and captains and angels and armies behind me. IUIC is moving at top speed. You see a dome, I see my sign. See, leave us alone. You scheming like Ponzi. Real ones is back. They screaming out finally. Whole lot of roughnecks head made of flint. Devil must flee, I don't care where you went. Blood in these streets, red 10 on the tip. Listen your strip like we on a defense. We ain't reviewing your album when we say spinning your projects again and again. You know the prophet's a problem. Who about to do something about it?
We hit the block in the thousands, deep. From Detroit to Ghana, from old block back to the islands. Reach. The army of God, we here to clean up the problems. Preach. That fervent heat, some more on the beat.
Hold on. Y'all ain't leaving out deep. Fourth drive ride with a swag on them. Zay's on the beat, put the fan on it, band on it. Judah blue, black, no tan on it. Purple stands out, no doubt, put the brand on it, stand on it. Ayy, he done went straight, do the work, jerk. Ain't that what he say? Sun done went down on them clowns on they base. This morning to morning, no light on they face. Man, let me get back to my Judah shh. I want the whole earth, we seek rulership. Your pastor keep capping, he full of it. Dropping they doctors, don't know who they fooling with. We bring the tutelage, man. Better fix face, we can make time on the grind all day. Gotta ride for the tribe, yeah, the vines on the way. Put the bombs on the bonnet, cause them bombs gon' save. Safe. Ain't here to play. Israel united, dividing the hate, and we drinking this lake. We ain't biting your base, see you fishing to hear what you saying. These heathens gon' pay. Hell yeah, they gon' pay, and I'm patiently waiting this day when they all at the way, and the king in this place, and we back in them gates. You gon' see that purple rain.
From Detroit to Ghana, from old block back to the islands. Reach. The army of God, we here to clean up the problems. Preach. That fervent heat, some more on the beat. So who finna pay for this blood in the streets? Shush.
Heard it's the land of the free and the home of the brave. Must have been before they made me a slave. Have you seen it? It's scenic. Full of fields where they spill blood on my faux folks. Acting like they ain't selling blood fruits to the po folks. Slaughter communities, gave them all impunity. Then screamed out unity, united in lies. Flying the friendly skies, turning gods to Americans. Fighting for a slice of this American pie. Sang songs over cotton. We was wronged in the bottoms. Our life was rotten. We've endured the problems. Hung in strange fruit from the south to the Big Apple. Now we're dying for pills and it's bullshit like papples. Paraplegics feel the spirit in these lyrics. As two broken people, shepherds gathering sheep who never wanna be equal. I just wanna be free. And if you ever knew the truth, then you would wanna be me. So I ask, what is freedom? Freedom's when I live in a house with all I need to feed some kids and a spouse. Freedom's not being taxed for every dime that I make. Praying daily for deliverance. How much time takes?
Giving all praises. Let's toast for the wisdom we have. Holy Ghost inside of the glass. Could've been riding shotgun with a pole in the mask. Now on the corner where we set up the class, you know the hard knocks. We got the keys, reaching Ghana back to Far Rock. All the prophets riders, you gon' need a bigger car lot. Bishop gave the word, so we fishing in the drug spot. Cause all they know is get a gunshot or get a mug shot. We tryna make the blood stop, same cause of blood clots. Pulled up with the sink, so when they lick, they get their blood washed. Oppression made a man, project housing like the cell blocks. Step inside the hood, it got the same smell that hell got. Who gon' set a Frito from body bags and COs? Games of the CeeLo and puffin' strains to chemo. We got the way out, just 7 seconds to page out. Step in front to lay out the Bible while we came out.
Freedom was supposed to be free. We paid a tab, project rats in the lab as they sit back and laugh. Our foreparents paid the arm and the leg, and the truth is these spiritual nooses won't allow us to get ahead. Slavery ain't changed, revolt and they got a backlash. IUIC promote truth and get backlash. We hardly get no likes either. They rather see me put more holes in my brother than a Jamaican wife beater. You ain't going against the grain, you never notice your change. Taken away by the wind if you ain't pulling on the rein. I see servants on horses and kings trailing the wagon, looking like a trained dog with his tail wagging. Poverty is apparent in the hood. Never plan to be parents, but make appointments for Planned Parenthood. Greet each other like what's good, but we ain't talking spiritual. They see IUIC and say it's a miracle. We revolutionaries now. Freedom is knowing that we don't need them. Finding the lost sheep and leading. All I see is the kingdom.
Wartime, it's a mission. Play your role, play position. Doing more than just march. Power up, now it's blissing. See the armies in the distance. Laying thunder, hearing voices. Black boots making noises for the anointed. Purple rain, when he rain. Put in work, put in pain. Read the script, make it plain. Ain't playing no games. Only gods on earth can remain. Feel the shackles in the chains. Do this for the Lord, slaying revenge on the brain. Captains, deacons, bishops, you don't want them to get in that mode. Word burning in our souls, now you see purple gold on the road. Narrow path of direction, spirit work with aggression. Hate the sin, hate oppression. Keep hating, give us blessings. Want the spirit, I'ma teach you a lesson. Gotta get back to the basics, know what's on your foundation. If you building up this nation, praying fast on a day-to-day basis. IUIC got that vision like lacy.
Boots marching a steady rhythm. We on go for our freedom, not putting in another prison. Bro, on goals that we going with them. Fighting demons, we forcing them out like an exorcism. And they see how we blowing up. Getting older and watch it, just see how we growing up. See sick, yeah, they throwing up. Man, they watch how we moving, can't hold their composure up. We going berserker, we slaying your doctors like you getting murked. We gon' teach them the truth, they gon' know that you lied. And we really don't care if you mad or you hurt. Don't copy the movement, you see that we hit the diaspora. Learn that when people are church, 24/7, 365. All year round, yeah, we putting that work. Like, this Bible a weapon, I'm with all the stepping. These witches are making them frantic. We ain't spinning your block, we spinning this work from the sun that we preach that landing. I ain't giving my love to this work for no diamonds and pearls, I ain't getting romantic. Immortal the ghost, so we tune out the rent, and we ain't gonna stop till the kingdom is granted. To the gods, who that will smoke with the gods? The prophets is back and we bringing that fire, this kingdom we bringing it down. We hollering out wartime, already we putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town, when we come around, they don't make a sound. Yeah. Who that will smoke with the gods? The prophets is back and we bringing that fire, this kingdom we bringing it down. We hollering out wartime, already we putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town, when we come around, they don't make a sound.
Yeah. It's heat in the street, 400 degrees in the street. Look for a doctor to chop from the bottom to top like a tree in the street. Lying in the way of peace in the street. Them Jews been out on the hunt. Better move, they looking for lunch. No suckers ain't come for the stunts. They kicking them scriptures, we come for the punch. These Christians just drinking the punch. Jim Jones been alone with the dry bones, so we crossing them time zones. Gotta wake up Jake, even the one from State Farm. This truth got reached, that's 8 arms. The prophets is coming, just wait for them. This word like fire, this stay palm. Set your city ablaze. You should be amazed. We roll with the phenoms, can't be seen with the peons. It's the end of the days, and you gotta know that. This is not where you go toe to toe at. I can't stop till the heat in my dope at. And I got a pot made for watching this Moab. Come get this toe tag, hold that.
Are you ready for war? Bring out the sword, that's Hebrews 4. Scriptures cut to the core, it's spiritual food, so I need some more. Take a trip to the US, spiritual abuse, cause we been at war. Satan tried to take us down, but we're standing tall with our faith in God. Standing on guard, respected, yeah. We are the saints selected, the best of the best elected, yeah. We must endure, accept it, the kingdom of God objective. Some fell out the truth, rejected. Now they're hitting on us, expected. Can't come around us. Still got a smaller circle. Puffs in town, see the gold and purple. Actions allowed, we don't stop with verbal. Prepare for battle, battle array. Holding the line, so don't step in the way. 144,000 set on display. Got the load, the strips get hit with a stray.
Who that want smoke with the gods? The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We hollering out war time, war ready. We putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town. When we come around, they don't make a sound. Who that want smoke with the gods? The prophets is back and we bringing that fire. This kingdom, we bringing it down. We hollering out war time, war ready. We putting our boots on the ground. They talking when we not in town. When we come around, they don't make a sound.
Coast to coast, we do the most, we all off in they These scriptures get to hitting, it go when we flip the page, swinging with that wisdom blade. Cut below us under, we build different so we don't fear the same. Get it how you want it, boy, I clean up off the bishop's plating. Ain't with fellow deacons, so my reason for freedom means more than Edoms. We feeding these sheep, we leading. One shot to stop all this evil, no sequels spin off of prequels. Defeating this demon's needful, we found it and they finding Nemo. They prime, but they not that primo, they packing but act like Debo. We active, but we lack ego, man. We face the East. P. We IUI in the sea. Revelation chapter 14, verse 12, buddy, would it be? And I'll be damn fan if I don't prophesy for the 12 tribes we gotta reach. Hold the line and don't sleep. Yeah, we fortified, no breach. We got our swords drawn. Cracker, eat him, demon in his teeth. Pray for vengeance. This here true repentance. Beat him out his seat. This here biblical, no fallacies. We live this how we teach. We them prophets, we ain't never stopping. Sir, the King of Kings.
Black and comely, the king is coming. No reservations, patience be the name of the game. And we run to win the races. Racist, so they say, cause it's colored faces that lead this nation. Face it, this your worst nightmare. Talking Freddy, your Jason. Clean cuts like steak and potato bake. When you get this butter stutter, when they speak on this name, could never be put asunder. Israel, the prince of the power. This world is ours. Was born to tear and devour the lies, then make it shower with this righteousness. Hold up, wait. Take it back to the gates. No longer languishing. Order is sanctioned here. You gon' behave and this is critical. Minimal never is biblical. Maximize, get it, live or die. We don't sympathize either right or wrong. What we living by next to the wise like Penny. Cry loud like Timmy. South Park, watch me spinning. Cripple Christians call him Jimmy. Explain the word, it's a whipping. Might have to look it up. Like apologetics when they look at us. Google it, damn it, they hate cause they hurt us emotional. Damn it, these chairs flying, the gods have landed. Little boy, little boy.
They don't love us, no they don't love us. They don't love us, no they don't love us. They don't love us, no they don't love us. They don't love us. Somebody tell them wake up, wake up, wake up. Somebody tell them wake up, wake up, wake up. We gon' tell them, hey. Somebody tell them wake up. Now the truth is out, better know it with no doubt. Zechariah 11:5, go and see what that's about. No, we ain't the same people and they don't treat us equal.
All praises to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Escaping the Plantation 2.0. And I'm your host, Captain Gedaliah. To my left,
hey, shalom, shalom.
we got an international prophet back in the building.
What is you saying, Lord, man?
What is you saying?
I'm glad to be back.
Shalom, Officer Issachar in the building. To my right,
Officer Nahum, shalom, shalom.
Officer Nahum, all praise the Most High. And who else we got with us?
Officer Mishael.
And to my far left,
Officer John.
all praise to the Most High. So we got the crew back together minus Captain Josiah. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the captain. He wasn't able to make it today, but all praise to the Most High. We still got a fire crew for y'all today. So, hey, we going to get it in. Look, y'all already know what it is. We ain't playing no games. Escaping Plantation on fire from the onslaught on set. We ain't playing. You understand? All right, so with that being said, go ahead and let them know what we talking about today. What is today's title? Could you pull that up for us real quick? Could you pull the thumbnail up quick?
President's Day. Hey, look at America's most racist leaders.
So today is so-called President's Day, right? Banks closed. You go down there and try to get you some money out of the bank. They ain't nobody here. You know what I'm saying? Shutting down for this crap. Okay, so President's Day, which is not ordained of God. It's ordained of Satan. You understand? They ain't give me the day off. I sure had to work. What about y'all? I had to work? Damn.
Bruh.
Well, Negro don't get, we can't never get out the plantation. It is what it is. We're going to escape it today. All right, so we're going to look at the nation's most racist leaders. I know what you think. I know what some of y'all think. You think you're in the land of the free and the home of the brave. No, you are in the land of the slave. You understand that? You is not freeze around him. Okay, and we're going to show you that today. You got some racist leadership that we done had since the beginning of this country. We're going to show it from the very first president all the way up into who we think might be the next president, your boy Donald Trump. All right, so he'll be number 47? Would he be 47? Because Joe Biden 46, and if he come back, he'll be 47, right? Okay, damn, that dude old as hell. That dude 80 years old. The hell? Cheeto man, 80 years old. All praise. So anyway, with that being said, hey, go ahead and read that first scripture real quick.
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 71 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me and save me.
So we ask the Lord to deliver us in his righteousness and cause us to escape. Escape what? The plantation, because that's what we own, brothers and sisters. Your job is a plantation. You understand? Your everything you involved in from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep, it is a plantation. And don't you forget it. And then shout out to everybody that started calling me Uncle Captain. Y'all wrong for that. 33 years old, man. Talking about because I'm wearing the glass. Now I'm uncle. So the uncle wear glasses like that. Don't take no pictures. Don't be screenshotting it. So all praise to the Most High. So we ask the Lord to deliver us in his righteousness and cause us to escape. Now, I did want to point something else out. Very important finding. I never thought that I would hear something like this, but I heard something like this past weekend. This Saturday, we was in Mobile, Alabama for the Mardi Gras parade, all right, at Trinity Gardens. And I had brothers from North Carolina with me. Okay, and it was said, now this is not speculation, I have witnesses. Now it was said that North Carolina is not the South.
Huh?
Some people from North Carolina, I didn't say it. People from North Carolina was riding with me in Mobile, Alabama. They said, man, after looking at this place, North Carolina definitely ain't the South. So, I didn't say it. Somebody else said it, okay? So don't be offended. Disclaimer, I'm kidding. North Carolina South, it just ain't the dirty South. It's got a little East Coast in it, okay? But it ain't the dirty South.
Bruh.
It is the South, though, okay? All praise the Most High. They pick cotton up north, too, a little bit. So, okay, anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into what we do on every show, the righteous rant of the day. Can we play that real quick? All praise to the Most High. So, hey, y'all already know every single show at Escaping the Plantation 2.0, we do what's called the righteous rant of the day, where we rant in righteousness. All right, so with that being said, let's pull up that promo real quick. I mentioned earlier about us going to Mobile, Alabama this past weekend for the Mardi Gras parade that they had. A lot of men showed up. I ain't going to tell you the numbers because I know you enemies always want to know our numbers. Don't worry about it. Just know it was a lot of us. All right, we were deep. Okay, so with that being said, pull up that promo real quick. Let's see what we did out there.
I be jamming. Yeah. Let go. Yeah. Look.
Hey, talking cheap. This walk right here, we walk ain't for the weak. The kingdom ain't for free, it's for the meek. All I need is a little milk, don't need no meat. They prophecy, they coming out, you know it's gon' get deep. When you step in the Lord house, you better watch your feet. Don't wake the world up, wake them up out they sleep. Do this every day, we in the streets, that's on repeat. The prophets of God, yeah, we in Lord. We standing bold, that's just how it goes. We ain't bold, we just let them know. We say let it go, yeah, they blind, they done lost their mind. Thank God for this time, when affliction get their head. What time is it? Who am I? Who am I?
All praise to the Most High. All praise. So, hey, look, man, give a round of applause to them brothers, man, putting in mighty work down there in Mobile, Alabama. So, hey, so we faced a lot of opposition out there. Now, we did have some people that were, happy to see us, but we saw it was some people that were really mad that we were there disrupting their quote-unquote Mardi Gras festival. Now, everybody knows, well, anybody that has any type of understanding of history or does any type of studying at all knows that the Mardi Gras comes from an ancient festival by the Feast of Bacchus. Can we get 2 Maccabees 6:6 real quick? All right, so during this time at this Feast of Bacchus, we're just going to call it what it is, what they call the Mardi Gras today, our people were twerking, smoking weed, drinking, throwing honey buns.
The hell is this?
I don't understand this. They were throwing oatmeal cream pies and star crunches and ramen noodles. Who raised you? I don't understand it. I mean, it was like, let me just be careful what I say. They went to Dollar General and cleared out the rack. You understand? That's what, am I wrong? I ain't being racist. That ain't racist against my own people. I ate noodles growing up. You understand that? So I'm not trying to sound like I'm being racist or down to my people, but we crazy. You twerking for Roman noodles? Who raised you?
We is crazy. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. I used to love me some oatmeal pies when I was young, man.
Not no more.
Not no more. They throwing them off the truck, moon pies, honey buns, the bees, everything, man. Our people were really destroyed.
Yeah, man. Get 2 Maccabees 6:6 right quick.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
Bring it out. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So at this time, during the time of the Greek captivity, we weren't even able to call ourselves Jews, right? Go ahead.
And in the day of the king's birth,
Go ahead.
every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept.
There you go right there. The Feast of Bacchus, okay? Bacchus was the god of wine and reveling. And that's what you see at these Mardi Gras festivals, at these various different, revelings that our people are a part of and that they make up or that they call tradition, like Bacchanal and the Carnival down in the islands. That's what it is right here. This is what this particular thing is celebrating. It is celebrating the Feast of Bacchus, right? And our forefathers were forced to do that. Go ahead.
The Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus,
Read.
carrying ivy.
When it says compelled, that means forced. We were forced. Go ahead.
Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews.
Go ahead.
That they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
So we had to be partakers of the sacrifices. It was a decreed law by Ptolemy that we had to do this. Before it became us willingly doing what we see our people doing now, we were forced to do it. This is why the white man do not want us reading, y'all. Because if we start to read, we'll start to say, ho, this sound like, let me look up Bacchus. Let me look up origin of Mardi Gras. Wait a minute, it's connected to Bacchus. The Bible says that the Feast of Bacchus, we were forced to come by bitter constraint. Go ahead.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles.
Whoever said we're not going to do it, we're going to continue to keep the laws of God. Read.
Should be put to death.
They killed us for it. They killed us for it. Go ahead.
Then might a man have seen the present misery.
Then might a man have seen the present misery, because then made a man understand. That's why we got to read. Because if you read that, then you will understand, wait a minute, we're now doing willingly what our forefathers were forced to do by bitter constraint, and the one that would not do it would be put to death. The something would click in your mind and say, you know what, we probably shouldn't be celebrating this. Because we were forced to do it then, now we willingly do it now. Now, here's another scene or I guess, what they call reenactment, or just an image of what happened during that time. So that's idol worship, y'all. Idol worship. Now, give me that article real quick. There was an article about what happened, because some of y'all don't know what happened. So let's look at this article about what happened at this particular event. Play that. You can play it. Let them play it. Hopefully they don't flag us. Nobody watch no Mobile New. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. See if you can get the volume up. If not, we'll have to read it. It's muted. You got to unmute it, man. Do it even give you an option? All right, don't worry. Let's just read it then, for sake of time, brethren. Just read it. Zoom in so also can see the words. That's fine. Yep.
Mobile, Alabama. The Mobile Police Department confirmed that a shooting in the proximity of a Mardi Gras parade in the Trinity Gardens community left one man dead and 2 injured, including a child. Officers assigned to work Mardi Gras duty responded to the scene on Next Street at approximately 11:15 a.m. Me and my kids were getting ready to go to the parade, and we heard pop, 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 and I stopped, and we didn't go, neighbor Ruby Hoppin said. Upon arrival, MPD said that they discovered a 20-year-old man in the roadway with life-threatening gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died of his injuries. At the scene, police also found an 18-year-old man with life-threatening injuries and a 16-year-old boy with non-life-threatening injuries.
All praise to the Most High. So as you can see, brothers and sisters, this is what goes on at these particular events. And this is why we constantly tell our people that you cannot continue to involve yourself in idolatry. Every time we get involved in something like this always happens. Somebody's shot, somebody's hurt, a car come running through there, run little kids over, somebody die of a heart attack. You understand? It's drive-by shooting. This to happen every single time we go to an event, something like this happen. It don't matter where we go, whether it's Peru, Colombia, you understand? Every time we blitz and go warn the people, something always happens. That's not a coincidence. You understand? Now go to Wisdom of Solomon 14, and I want you to pull up those images right quick. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. And I want you to pull up. Now, I'm gonna tell you what image to pull up. Before you pull them up, let me tell you what image to pull up. Don't pull up that first image. Don't pull up that first image. But everything after that is cool. That first image, do not pull that one up. I don't want to show that. I only want to show the images of the trash, the two videos, and then what was inside the pack. Okay, but the other images with the young man, don't show that. Go ahead. Wisdom of Solomon 14:16.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 16.
Bring it out.
Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
You hear that? An ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law. Remember, the Feast of Bacchus was kept as a law. Now, if you go to New Orleans, Mobile, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they keep that custom like it's a law. You are frowned upon if you don't celebrate Mardi Gras. You understand that? Like growing up, I lived 3.5 hours or 2.5 hours from New Orleans, but all my family would go down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. And if you said, "No, I don't want to go down there," they'd be like, "Man, what the hell wrong with you? What you mean you don't want to go to Mardi Gras? It's a tradition." No, the Bible says it's wicked, it's evil, it's an ungodly custom. Look at how our communities get left. Look at the community. This is what it looked like after our people get to ranting and reveling. Now, I want to show you something. You saw that it said that one man was killed and 2 others were shot, right? Look how this look. Go back. After somebody was shot, after 3 people were shot, 1 person was killed, they kept on partying. They didn't stop. Our people continue to party as if nothing happened.
Bruh.
Literally. Go to the next one. Look what they were showing. They had condom wrappers inside. Y'all don't see what I'm saying. They were throwing this, you know how in Mardi Gras they throw the beads? They were throwing condom wrappers, y'all. Condom wrap, and I think there's a little Smirnoff bottle or something inside of there. Liquor and condoms. That's what our people is involved in, y'all. So this ain't a game. Read again.
Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong
Read.
was kept as a law.
Was kept as a law. Go ahead.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandment of kings.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandment of kings. Read 12.
Verse 12.
Read.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Read.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life. This is why our people are so destroyed mentally. It's because of these particular customs that we continue to follow as if it's the ways of God. That ain't the ways of God, but the way our people treated it is. Our people literally spend their last to go to things like this. Watch this. Play this video real quick.
Who is this? What have we been learning?
Look at all that trash on the ground.
We're destroyed because we don't have no knowledge. And the people that control knowledge.
Where we at, Cap?
Where
we at?
Mardi Gras and what is this, Birmingham, Alabama? Mobile. See that? I didn't mess it up.
See that? I told you he ain't from the South, man.
Wickedness out here, man. Our people got to repent, come back to God's commandments. That's what needs to happen. Look at all the trash on the floor.
Look. And ain't nobody there to clean it up, y'all. That's going to sit there for a while. And that's just one small block. This was for miles, am I right? This went on for miles. Pause. This went on for miles. Go to the next video. Let me show you what they was doing. While we was teaching the word, let me show you what they were doing. Go to the next video. There's another video I had. It was short. It was Captain Bizion teaching. Look, you see them throwing stuff? Look, you see them throwing beads? And our brothers knocking the beads down, knocking the stuff down, because they were throwing it right at us. Pause. Now, it got so bad, they got so mad at what we was teaching, they started to throw boxes of ramen noodles, moon pies, cookies, condom wrappers. They threw a 42-inch flat screen TV at somebody. Our people, I ain't never seen nothing like it. Mobile, Alabama is a phenomenon. You hear me? The Negroes down there ain't right. Them ain't normal Negroes down there, man. They wildin'. Go ahead.
Is that supposed to be a bus?
That's a float. That's like one of them Mardi Gras floats.
Oh, Esau didn't give him a good bus.
Right. Nah, they pulling them on their truck. Look, that's attached to his truck. So they make the floats just for Mardi Gras. They stack it up high like that, and they have old women. And all I kept hearing was Sexy Red and Cardi B music.
The hell is this?
And grown women with grandchildren were twerking off the side of the damn West. Now I said, man, if the Lord really wanted to be funny, he'd let one of them fall off that damn thing. You understand what I'm saying? But that's what they was doing. It got so bad, we was bringing out fornication. One of the dudes on the damn float, I'm teaching, one of the dudes on the float said, don't be acting like y'all ain't out here smashing nothing. He couldn't believe that we weren't involved in what they was involved in. Because we a phenomenon to them. We a spectacle to the world. But we looking at them like, no, y'all the phenomenon. Go ahead, Oz.
You know what, Cap? While we was out there, I seen an Edomite on the float taking pictures of our people evil, man. So that's why going back to the scriptures say we are an astonishment. Anytime we gather together like that, Esau somewhere in the cut, keeping track on our stupidness. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High said he going to laugh at our calamity, man, because we want to continue to perpetuate the sin that we in. We love pleasure. We think this world is having a good time and partying, doing all that crap, man. It's only showing how destroyed our people are.
100%. You had something? Go ahead.
Yeah, can I get 1 Peter's 4:3-4? Because when I was in I think Ecuador, a little girl, she asked me, she's part of the congregation, she said, how come they laugh at us when we keep the commandments? You know, she's young. She just came into truth. And I gave her the scripture, but I thought about this whenever our children see this. You might not know what it is, Captain bringing it out, but we seen it. We seen reveling when we were younger. But some of our kids are being taught that it's a good thing, and then they leave the truth. So I want to show the scripture. Read.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 4 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
So like he read in 2 Maccabees, these are things that the Gentiles forced on us. Just like pork. We love to eat pork today because they used to break our teeth and make us eat pork because, hey, you got to survive. The slave got to eat. So they used to force pork down your throat. Now you eat it, right? Go ahead.
When we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatry.
All those things you find in that feast right there, in that wicked feast. Go ahead.
Wherein they think it strange.
And then what did Cap say?
Wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you.
Because we married, and we out there teaching our people to get out of that. They looking at us, are we supposed to be the same Negroes as them? No, we repented.
We done repented from that thing, man. So it was a lot of evil that we seen out there. I was trying to pull up a picture, but it's like it ain't showing up on my end real quick. But you got it? Pull that up. One of the officers sent this to me. Look how Esau looking at us. Look, Esau looking at us pick up ramen noodles off the ground, pick up Jolly Ranchers off the ground, pick up condoms off the ground. And he just looking at us like, look at these niggas, man. It was another police officer. You know how they had them little, what they call them things, slingshots? Where it's like a little three-wheeler. There was a couple of brothers that was on some of those three-wheelers. And I saw, as one of them passed through speeding, I saw the police officer, it was a white guy. I saw how he looked and shook his head like, man, I'm so happy. I can't wait to get out. Why the hell I'm on duty for this year? You know what I'm saying? Like he was looking like, why the hell I got to do this year? Now he was mad as hell, like, man, the hell with the bonus. I ain't doing this next year. These niggas is ill. All surrounded by Christian church. Christian church is all up and down that block. So all praise to the Most High. So yeah, man, that's the righteous rant of the day. We got, unless you had something? All right, go ahead. Man, gonna wait till the very end. Anybody go.
Give me Proverbs 1 and 20 real quick. Proverbs 1 and 20. Because like Cap said, you know, we had our people that was out there trying to give wisdom to our people that's lost out there. They're in the midst of wickedness and all type of mess. Just like you said, that brother was like, hey, you act like you ain't trying to smash nothing. And he looked bugged out. But
they passing out STDs, man. Mobile, Alabama ain't big like that. If you smashing this, 9 times out of 10, it's another Negro that you know that's smashing them. I don't understand these people. I don't understand our people bugged out. Their whoremonger spirit is demonic, man. They got us trapped. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs 1 verse 20.
Bring it out.
Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets.
In the streets of Mobile, Alabama, read.
She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her word, saying.
This the point, read.
How long, ye simple ones?
How long, you stupid ones? Are people out there foolish and dumb, read?
Will ye love simplicity?
Would you love stupidity, read?
And the scorners delight in their scornings, and fools hate knowledge.
They hate God's law, statutes, and commandments. So you bring that out, and you like you said, they was bringing out about sex, that you ain't supposed to be out there, having fornication. They looking at you like, what? Like they looking at you like you got 3 heads.
They can't believe it.
You know what I'm saying? They can't believe that thing. That's crazy. That's just a myth to show you how foolish our brothers and sisters are these days.
Right, and how involved we are in idolatry. We so deep in it that we can't see clearly that it's idolatry that we involved in. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and end the righteous rant of the day. I wanted to, I didn't think of it as being a continuation, but when I thought about today's show, it's really going to continue from what we went over last week. Last week we went over a show called A Black God, A Black God That Ruleth in the Kingdom of Men. So we show how the Most High is the one that sets up kings, rulers, transition from one race of people to another race of people as it pertains to the different kingdoms that have ruled. Everything that goes on this earth is according to God's will. And today's particular show, we're talking about President's Day, and we're taking a look at America's most racist leaders. But before we dive deep into America, I want to continue to show that America is an extension of Rome. Go back to 1 Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1 again. I know we went over this last week. I know Bishop went over this past Sabbath, but in the spirit of understanding, we went to Rome lately, and I want to just continue it, right? A lot of history to be brought out. 1 Maccabees 8 and 1.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 1.
Read it out.
Now Judas had heard the fame of the Romans.
Go ahead. So these Romans are Japhites, all right? These Romans is the seed of Japhet. It's not the seed of Esau. Esau has not yet taken over in Rome at this particular times, right? I think they was called the Latins back then, right? Go ahead.
Now Judas had heard the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men.
Go ahead.
And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
So we're talking about the Romans, right? Skip down to verse 14 for me.
Yes, sir. Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby.
Watch this.
Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house.
So the Romans at that time, the seed of Japhet, they made to themselves a senate house. Go ahead.
Wherein 320 men sat in, where 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered.
So they did this in order for them to be well ordered. Now, it's no different from America today. America today does the same exact thing. Now, Esau came and subjugated Italy and took over Rome after the Japhet, the seed of Japhet. They took on the same thing. There's the picture that I had that I didn't post of the ancient Senate house of the Caesars that we took a picture of when we were in Rome. And it looked just like this. The inside looked just like this, with a whole bunch of seats, like an auditorium. This is where the auditorium originated from. It originated from the Senate house, or what they call the, so you have a Colosseum, and then you also what's called an amphitheater. Okay, the Colosseum is built on top of the ground. The amphitheater is built into the ground. That's why most amphitheaters, you step down into it. Most Colosseums, you go up. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what this is. This is an origin of the amphitheater. Okay, you ever been in an amphitheater before and you walk in and you walk down and all the seats are down like it's built into the ground? That's what that originates from. It originates from ancient Rome. Okay, so do you finish that out? Keep reading. Verse 16, yep.
And they had committed their government to one man every year.
Go ahead.
Who ruled over all their country.
Who ruled over all their country.
And they all were obedient to that one.
So they had one man that ruled over all their country. Okay, it's the same thing as the United States of America today. Okay, did you finish that out?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
And that there was neither envy nor emulation amongst them.
Now, in the same spirit, is America today. Don't let the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden or Democrat and Republican, don't let it fool y'all. Right. They on one accord. Can we get that real quick? A house divided. Matthew 12. I know some of y'all fool. Y'all think the people in America don't get along. No. Or that the Democratic and the Republican Party don't get along with each other. No, that's all a farce. That's all a hoax. That's all a facade to make you think that it's like that's remember back in the day on them cartoons, maybe out in the desert they start seeing mirages. It's a mirage. It ain't real, right? Go to that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 25.
Read.
And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Read.
And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
Read.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
So think about what we just read. This right here, they all Satan. They're not casting each other out. Does that make any sense? How say, I got him out. Oh, vote for me and get Joe Biden out of there. He the devil. Give me that in Sirach 27 and 21 or 21 and 27, please. Watch this. Sirach 21 and 27. Let me show you.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 27.
Come on.
When the ungodly curse of Satan.
When the ungodly curse of Satan, when one presidential candidate tell you that the other presidential candidate is the devil and that he should not be in office and that you should vote for them, what the Bible say?
When the ungodly curse of Satan,
what he do?
He curseth his own soul.
What he do?
He curseth his own soul.
Because you Satan too. That's what the Bible's saying. Satan can't cast out Satan. A house divided cannot stand. How you think America done last so long? Because they was such in opposition with each other? Hell no. They all agree with your enslavement. That's what God's showing you in the scriptures. They've all agreed with your enslavement, brothers and sisters. So their beliefs couldn't be too far off. Just like you got, Catholicism and Protestantism is different. No, they both agreed with your enslavement because the Protestants didn't stop the Catholics from enslaving you. The Protestants didn't come over here and say, hey, that papal bull that was instituted by the Popes of Rome, that was wrong. We should disannul that. Okay, we should get that out of the way. We should stop that. We should end slavery right now. No. The Baptist church, the Presbyterian church, you understand that? The Pentecostal church, the Jehovah's Witness church, the Seventh-day Adventist church, the Methodist church, all had your black ass in slavery. So ain't no Catholicism and no Protestantism. They against one another. They're not. You understand? Two heads of the same snake. So stop believing that. For you black, urban, apologetic, dumb Negroes. Make me sick. Y'all don't know the Bible, man. Stay away from this. You just sit back and learn. And stop trying to emulate Bishop Nathaniel. You're not going to be able to get the wisdom that the brother has. You're not. Not being rebellious, stiff-necked, and hating God's laws. You'll never be on that level. They envy the bishop, I'm telling you. They envy Bishop's understanding of the scriptures. Well, that's 30 years of dedicating your life to this truth. That's why the Lord is raising up congregation. This ain't no, who's funding him. We don't need no money from the government behind us. Right. They don't believe a black man can accomplish nothing. That the so-called Hispanic man can accomplish anything. Well, how we get to Ecuador then? How do we get to Peru and Colombia? Ain't none of us got enough money to pay for all that on our own. The Lord made that happen. They don't believe, bruh. They emulate what our leadership does. You can't do it. We say, you want my spot, Flash? You want my spot? Well, you ain't gonna get it because you ain't got it. That's for my 5 Heartbeat, people that watch 5 Heartbeat. All praise to the Most High. Give me that book, Modern Judaism. Right. So we talking about Rome, right? I done went on another righteous rant. We talking about Rome, okay? And the Senate House that's in Rome is the same thing that America emulated, okay? And just brought into this particular time. Now read this book, Modern Judaism, real quick. And zoom in. The very top orange, and then skip down to the next orange, please. Yes,
Esau's descendants are the subjects of extensive traditions. First, that the descendants of Esau, the sworn enemies of the descendants of Jacob, even to the end of the world.
Even to the end of the world. So we're talking about Esau, right? Skip down.
Founded Rome
I'm sorry. Go up a little higher. Go up a little higher. Go to extended dominions toward the west. Right above founded. Right above founded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Extended their dominions toward the west.
Talking about the Edomites. Go ahead.
Spread their colonies far and wide. Subjugated Italy.
They subjugated Italy. They put Italy in subjection. Go ahead.
Founded Rome.
They founded Rome.
And the Roman Empire.
Now, what's key about that is what we read earlier in 1 Maccabees 8. That was the Roman Republic. Now we're reading right here in modern Judaism, it talked about how Esau, Edom, founded Rome and the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And that in the present day, professing the religion of Jesus of Nazareth.
And who they call it? Who are the first people to start calling themselves modern day Christians or Catholicism? It's the Romans, which are Edomites. That's what the Bible's telling you. All right, read.
Which they were the first of all nations to embrace.
Because they were the first of all nations to embrace. Now, you got that? Is that it on that? No. Yeah, drop that. Drop that. Go from there. Go to 2nd Esdras chapter 11, verse 1. We're just doing a recap. It's going to come right back into what we've been going over. 2nd Esdras chapter 11, verse 1.
The book of 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse 1.
Let's go.
Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle.
They came up from the sea an eagle. Go ahead.
Which had 12 feathered wings.
12 feathered wings.
And 3 heads.
And 3 heads. Skip down to verse 12.
Verse 12, and I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose 1 feather. And reigned over all the earth.
It's 1 feather that reigned over all the earth. That's Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was the first of the Roman Empire. Right. The Roman Empire are Edomites according to the Bible and also according to the book Modern Judaism. And then there's another book that we read last week as well to show you that Julius Caesar was an Edomite. And I believe Caesar Augustus was his great nephew. He also was an Edomite. Tiberius, Edomite. Caligula, Edomite. Claudius, Nero, right? Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian. They were all Edomites.
The devil.
They're all part of the same eagle. Okay? You finish that up? Read verse 13. Yep.
And so it was that when it rained, the end of it came.
The end of it came. Julius Caesar died.
And the place thereof appeared no more.
And the place thereof appeared no more. Go ahead.
So the next following stood up and reigned and had a great time.
That was Augustus Caesar or Octavian Augusta, right? Or Octavian Augustus, right? So go from there real quick. Go to 2nd Esdras 12. No, read 11:39, then go to 12 and 11. Same chapter.
2nd Esdras 11 and 39.
Read.
Bring it out. Art not thou it that remaineth of the 4 beasts?
It that remained of the 4 beasts is Rome. It was the last of the 4 beasts. Go ahead.
Whom I made to reign in my world.
Who Christ made to reign in this world. They're not reigning on their own accord. It's not because of their great military power that they were able to do it. No, it's because the angels that the Lord chose and Christ allowed them to win, to overthrow Greece. You understand? Go ahead.
That the end of their times might come through them.
At the end of their time might come through them. So the end of time is going to come through Rome. Rome is now extended to America, okay? Rome is extended to America, Great Britain, Spain, all these various places. They're going to tell you in the next scripture. Nope, 11:40.
Verse 40. And the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
Read.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Go ahead.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
Rome didn't have power over the whole compass of the earth, meaning the Western world at this particular time. Rome and Spain didn't get power over the Western world until Rome decreed for the Spaniards to come to this side of the earth and the Portuguese to come to this side of the earth and enslave our ancestors. The conquistadors was given license by a Roman pope to come and enslave our ancestors. So that wasn't at that time when this was written that it happened. It happened later on in the future. So Rome became spread and became Spain, Portugal, right? France, Great Britain, Germany, all these other places. Go ahead.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
Read.
With much wicked oppression.
And they did it through oppression. Go ahead.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth.
And in so long time dwelt he upon the earth. Read.
With deceit.
With deceit. Because they told you they was God. They told you they were Christian. And that God loved everybody after they hung you on trees. Subjugated you and put you on the bottom of a ship. Skip over to the next chapter. Chapter 12, verse 11.
2nd Esdras 12:11. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
So it said, the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. Go ahead.
But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee.
Because Daniel didn't see the the symbol of the fourth beast. It just said a creature. You understand? Go ahead.
Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
Read.
In the same shall 12 kings reign,
Read.
one after another.
Because you go back to the 12 kings? Because a lot of y'all don't think the Bible is real. A lot of y'all try to find areas of the Bible that say that they contradict each other, but you never talk about how the Bible is pinpoint accurate as it pertains to world history. The 12 feathers are the 12 Caesars of Rome, the Roman Republic, brothers and sisters.
You're going to learn today.
There's no possible way that a man could write this down 400, 500, 600 years before it actually happened. It don't make sense. Right. It ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing, man. Our forefather Esdras and Daniel wrote down about this fourth kingdom, which became Rome. Our forefather Esdras saw 12 feathers, which was symbolic of the 12 Caesars of Rome ruling one after another. Who got time to make that up? We got jobs, man. We got kids. We got bills. Ain't nobody got how much extra time you got in the day to sit down and make something like that up. We don't. The Bible is accurate. The Bible is a true book.
That's right.
You understand that? Go ahead. You had something?
Hey, yeah, I was actually reading this chapter on the plane back, and it says, can we read the next verse? 15?
Yes, sir. Verse 15. Whereof the second shall begin to reign and shall have more time than any of the 12.
So if you look up Augustus, it was from 27 BC all the way to 14 AD.
Yep.
He reigned the longest out of all of them. So he didn't just give you the 12. He told you how long they reigned. He told you everything, like you said, in exact detail. So this is how you know that the Most High was dealing with these men, because a lot of people always ask, who wrote the Bible?
Right.
Who wrote the Bible? The Bible's a man-made book.
Right.
Even in Peru and Colombia, they always say that. It don't matter what language our people speak, they say the same BS. And then you have to show them little things like this, like ain't no man on earth got time to just write everything like this.
Right.
And then you can't just get this wisdom if God ain't dealing with you. That's all I
Hey,
got.
another thing to add on to what you just said. I read a commentary about Daniel chapter 11. They say Daniel chapter 11 is scary how pinpoint accurate Daniel chapter 11 is. They say ain't no way that Daniel 11 was written before it actually happened. Go look it up. Look up the scholars' reviews on Daniel chapter 11. They said they had to write this after this stuff actually happened, because Daniel 11 is too damn accurate, man. All the way breaking down to who they marrying. Like, what's her name? Cleopatra. How she married Antiochus. Antiochus the Great married his son to, you understand? You understand? Come on, man. I'm telling you, ain't nobody got time to make that up. This is God we talking about.
Hey,
So let them folks scoff when they say the Bible ain't real. Go ahead.
Hey, Cap, that's why Elder Ithon always say the two mistakes that Esau made was making those nuclear bombs and letting us learn how to read.
Oh, you know you done messed up, don't you?
You done messed up. You done messed up the church's money, Esau.
He said, you see? You see that? You know you done messed up, don't you?
Yeah, he done messed up. Because
you
listen,
done messed up.
That's why they took the Apocrypha out, man, because they know it's going to link everything together, man. The apologists out here talking about the Apocrypha ain't canon.
Yeah.
No, the Apocrypha is real. The
Right.
Apocrypha is part of the Bible. The Apocrypha is letting us know who the 12 feathers are.
Hey, the Apocrypha goes more in depth to the visions that the Lord showed our forefather Ezra. Because when you read Ezra, you read a lot about the history, about the things. You don't read in depth about prophecy in Ezra. You read about how he dealt with our people according to the law, how he taught them. But when you read 1st and 2nd Esdras, it goes into the prophecy. It goes deep into what the Lord really showed. Them one of my favorite books in the Bible. Matter of fact, look at that. Say, you know you done messed up, don't you? You know you messed up, right? As they say, you see that? He said, I bought the bottle at 11. He said, yeah, I bought it at 11:15. He said, you see? You know you done messed up. Go from there real quick. Go to Revelation 13:11 to go with what we're going over real quick. Because we hadn't got fully into what we're going to go over today on the show, but I just wanted to show you leading up to it where the foundation of this thing came, and then we'll run through everything else. It is what it is. Let's get it.
The book of Revelation 13, verse 11.
Bring it out.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Give me the 2 horns like a lamb. Could you give me the 2 horns like a lamb, please? 2 horns like a lamb. Pull it up. The 2 horns like a lamb. What is that going into? Because we read earlier about how our people think that the Democratic and Republican Party are against one another. They're two horns of the same beast. You understand that? Could you pull it up for us? I had it. I gave y'all everything. It's number 12 and 13. There's two images, 12 and 13. Come on, IT, man. All right, good. So this is the two horns like a lamb. That's your Republican and Democratic Party, okay? Your Republican and your Democratic Party. Those are the two horns like a lamb. Go to the next image. Right there. Your two horns like a lamb, right? Making it seem like he's Christian. He's submissive, right? Go ahead. What you at?
Why they take my symbol and make it idolatry? Come on, man. I don't like that, man. I don't like that. I just
Devil Bible speaker, man.
I was making sure it was a donkey, not a horse.
Right. It was a donkey. Right, yeah, man. Ass is cold. God, no. All praise. Most High done revealed that thing to us. Right. Read again.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb.
Two horns like a lamb. Go ahead.
And he spake as a dragon.
And he spake as a dragon. He spake as a dragon. So you got this Democratic and Republican Party that all these people are deceived by thinking that somehow it has the best interest of so-called blacks and Hispanics. Let's show how they spoke as a dragon. Could you give the next one for me? It's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. Let's see what he said.
My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and is not either to save or destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slaves, I would do it.
So wait a minute, hold on. I thought this was the best president of all time. He gets so much credit for freeing the slave. He said, look, if I didn't have to free them niggas, I would not free them niggas. That's what he said. He said it. Look right there. Read it again.
Hey, Judah only like him because he's on a brown penny.
Judah bugged out. That's what it is. Judah destroyed. Go ahead.
If I could save the Union without freeing any slaves, I would do it.
Go ahead.
And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that.
You hear this?
Lincoln in a letter to Horace Greeley, 1862.
So Lincoln was perplexed. He didn't know what he was going to do. He said, look, I ain't going to lie. I like these niggas being slaves. But it's tearing apart the government. You understand what I'm saying? So for the best interest of what I want to leave my legacy as, then I'm going to just go ahead and do it so I can save the Union. It was about keeping jobs open. Remember, after the cotton gin was created, the Industrial Revolution and things of that stuff started to come into place, you had a lot of new technological advancements. And those technological advancements opened up factories, mills, things of that nature where you didn't have to have a slave on a plantation. People can go out and make money for themselves and actually work and create a new society. Well, the South wasn't having that. Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, all these southern states, Kentucky, Tennessee, they weren't trying to have that. North Carolina, South Carolina, even Virginia, Delaware, they was like, no, hell no. I want all my niggas staying on the plantation working. That's what I want. Damn. You ain't gonna change our way of life. That's what they said. Go ahead.
And also, Cap, in the House, the South had the majority vote because they had the 3/5 clause.
Right.
So they was using the slaves to keep the upper hand when it came to their politics.
100%. So that's what it mean they speak as a dragon. You see that? He said, look, I don't give a damn about these. Go to the next one. Andrew Jackson. Let's go to Andrew Jackson real quick. Come on.
As long as our government is administered for the good of the people and is regulated by their will, as long as it secures to us the right of persons and of property, liberty of conscience, and of the press, it will be worth defending.
You hear
Andrew
this?
Jackson.
Now, Andrew Jackson talking about as long as our government is administered for the good of the people. What people? You know he has slaves, don't you? He owns slaves. So what's the good of what people is he talking about? White people. Not you Negroes on the plantation. You understand that? Not you so-called Hispanics that they had down in the plantations in the Deep South, so-called Gad and so-called Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, which is Reuben. You know he is the one that instituted the Indian Removal Act. He said, get all of them Indians out of Alabama, Mississippi. He took the Choctaw and Chickasaw land, forced them to migrate west to Oklahoma and various other places. That's how you got all the 5 civilized nations all ended up in Oklahoma because of him. But he's talking about the liberty of the people and the good of the government. Come on, man. He speak as a dragon. He show you he the devil. This is what he did to our ancestors right here. And Gad still destroyed to this day. Drinking and getting high and rape, In New Mexico, rape is at an all-time high. Gad destroyed. You understand?
That's it.
Go to the next one. Spake as a dragon. Go to the next one. What I had next? Go to the next quote. I think it was about, yep. Look at this.
Reagan called President Nixon to slur Africans as monkeys. Of course, there are tapes.
And there's tapes of this. He was a governor at the time, Ronald Reagan. He called President Nixon to call Africans monkeys. So this is what it means. He got the land. He got two horns like a lamb. He say he's Christian. He's submissive. This is a God nation. But then when he talk, he show you he is of his father, the devil. The devil. Go to the next one. Let's see the quote. It's a little blurry. Go there. Then Governor Ronald Reagan.
Then Governor Ronald Reagan last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television as I did.
Go ahead.
President Richard Nixon, yeah. Reagan, to see those monkeys from these African countries, damn them, they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
You hear that? He said they uncomfortable wearing shoes. Slaves, savages. Go to the next one.
When Mexico is sending its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people.
He said, and some, I assume, are good people. I've been living in the South my whole life. I lived in Texas. I've lived in Mississippi. I got family in Alabama and Louisiana, Georgia. Every single Issachar that I've ever met in my entire life, none of them were drug dealers. All of them came to Babylon in order to work, and they work their ass off. Right. And they get cheated out of money. You understand what I'm saying? These people, some of the hardest working people, most honest people when it comes to integrity, when it comes to work that I've seen. They there before the boss get there. If you say be there at 6, Issachar there at 5:30, ready to get it in. Yeah, now, we know our people ain't keeping God's commandments, but to sit here and say that they not sending their best, that they sending rapists and drug dealers and stuff, that's BS. That's propaganda.
The hell is this?
You understand? Go ahead.
I got something on that. When I found out about my family, they said that they would always send the ones that had paperwork. They had visas.
Right.
What Issachar does is they get visas legally to come over here, and then when their visa runs out, then they just stay.
Right.
That's what makes them illegal aliens.
Right.
Because they have to go through the process. Most of them actually come here legally.
Absolutely.
They try to push that we always wetbacks, we jump the border and all that. But majority of Issachar, they do the paperwork. They come over here, and then when they paperwork, they don't go back.
Absolutely.
I'm just giving you the scheme of the game.
That's how they.
But they're hard workers, like you said.
But that's the same thing they do in Africa. When our people from Africa go to Italy, for instance, we just got back from Rome. We see a lot of people from Africa there. When our people go to China from Africa, a lot of them, they don't have the money to afford the visa to continue it. So what they'll do is they'll just stay illegally. Yeah, because they're trying to migrate there for a better life. Right? Go back to Revelation 13:11.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth.
Go ahead.
And he had 2 horns like a lamb.
He had 2 horns like a lamb.
And he spake as a dragon.
Go ahead.
And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
He exercised the power of Rome that was before him. Go ahead.
And caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
And this is where we get all the artifacts and all the different memorabilia and the statues, the way that they make their buildings and government buildings and things of that nature. That's all come from Rome. The holidays, their customs, all of that come from ancient Rome. In America, we worship many idols in America, whether you know it or not. Bishop went over that this past week. All right, go from there real quick. Go to 2 Thessalonians. No, go to verse 2, because it said in verse 11, 2 horns of the lamb, but he spake as a dragon. What dragon? Go ahead.
Revelation 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Like unto a leopard, meaning Greece.
And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Like Persia and Media.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
And his mouth is the mouth of a lion, like Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. Go ahead.
And the dragon gave him his power.
And the dragon gave him his power. Go ahead.
And his seat. And great authority.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. America is a conglomerate of Persia, Media, Greece, and Babylon. America learned from all of those countries that came before it, which Rome was an extension, which is an extension of Rome after that. You see what I'm saying? Rome took on the attributes of all the kingdoms that became before. When the Bible say that this man is well calculated, well studied, the heart of every one of them is deep, he took everything that he saw was beneficial to the kingdoms that came before him. He did great study. That's why Alexander the Greek's library, he had records of all of the nations that came before them that conquered, from ancient Egypt all the way to now. Why do you think everywhere you go that Esau rules, you always see an obelisk? Right. You understand? You always see ancient Egyptian artifacts. What does Esau have to do with ancient Egypt? He's infatuated with the architecture of ancient Egypt, the customs of ancient Egypt, even how ancient Egypt worshiped many gods. Polytheism is what they call it. That's what they did. He's infatuated with that. So he go and learn everything he needs to learn from various different kingdoms that came before him, and he perfects it. And the dragon, like this right here, look at that, in America. Guess what? When you go to the St. Peter's Square, you may have saw it on some of the videos that Bishop was bringing out from when we were in Rome. Right outside the Vatican, they have an obelisk. What in the world is that doing in Rome? What is it doing there? The Bible tells you that. All right, going from there, let's move on. Let's go to the historical rankings of presidents of the United States. The historical rankings of presidents of the United States is 20. I think we're going to get through everything today, y'all. I think we're going to get through it. We're going to try. All right, read that.
Historical rankings of the presidents of the United States.
In political studies?
In political studies, surveys have been conducted in order to construct historical rankings of the success of the presidents of the United States.
Go ahead.
Ranking systems are usually based on surveys of academic historians.
So it comes from historians, basically. Read.
And political scientists or popular opinion.
Now, go down. Let's see something. Go down. Yep, read that.
A 1948 poll was conducted by historian Arthur Schlesinger, senior of Harvard University. A 1962 survey was also conducted by Schlesinger, who surveyed 75 historians. Schlesinger's son, Arthur M. Schlesinger Jr., conducted another poll in 1996.
Now go over there to the side right there.
Abraham Lincoln is mostly regarded as the greatest president for his leadership during the Civil War and the abolition of slavery.
Didn't we just read a quote from him where he said if he didn't have to free the slaves, he'd have never did it?
Right.
Most people don't read, y'all. Most people in this country do not read. Right. They go off what they see and hear on television or social media. They don't actually go read for themselves. How in the world did he regarded the greatest president of forever in here in Babylon before his leadership during the Civil War and the abolition of slavery? But we just read where if he didn't have to end slavery, he would have never done it. Bruh. You know there's a lot of black folks that's voting for him, don't you? A lot of those black folks are the one doing it. Go ahead.
His main competitors are Franklin D. Roosevelt.
We're going to get into that too.
For leading the country out of the Great Depression and during World War II, and founding father and first president George Washington for setting several enduring and important precedents for the office of the presidency, including the peaceful transition of power.
So wait a minute. So Abraham Lincoln didn't really want to abolish slavery, but he went ahead and did it for his sake.
What?
Franklin D. Roosevelt was a part of the atom bomb being dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing thousands upon thousands of people for no reason. And then George Washington owned slaves. Huh? These are considered the greatest men of our country's history. You see how the white folks ain't right, man? They bugged out. Go to Psalms 50, where it say that when thou seest a thief, thou consentest with him, and thou hast loved liars. Psalms 50, what is it, 16? This is what the Bible means when it says they had two horns as a lamb, but they spake as a dragon. We still on that. Go ahead. 50 and 16.
The book of Psalm 50, verse 16.
Bring it out.
But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
What do you have to do to declare my statutes?
Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth.
Go ahead.
Seeing thou hatest instruction,
read,
and castest my words behind thee.
When you read quotes of George Washington, he was a Christian. When you read quotes from Abraham Lincoln, he was a Christian. Franklin D. Roosevelt was a Christian, preaching God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son as he's dropping bombs on little babies in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
The hell is this?
Y'all really think this man is who he say he is? You ain't reading. You're not reading. You have no intellect. You don't have no wisdom. You're just blinded by the darkness that is in this place where we sit. Read.
When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and has been partakers with adulterers.
Read. Oh, wait a minute. George Washington slept with his slaves.
The hell is this?
Andrew Jackson had a baby by his slaves.
Huh?
Even though those slaves were married. What? Could you read again?
When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and has been partaker with adulterers.
And have been what?
Partaker with adulterers.
We have been partakers with adulterers. 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 They set adulterers up as their presidents. Go ahead.
What the hell?
Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit.
Like we just read. Oh, he the greatest president ever, but yet if he didn't have to abolish slavery, he never would have. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother.
Read.
Thou slanderest thine own mother's son.
They slander their own mother's son, which is us, the Israelites. They had to make themselves feel better about enslaving us. So they had to come up with propaganda to say that we were savages, we were slaves, we were 3/5 of a man, we didn't feel pain, all that. So that they can institute a medical apartheid, so they can institute convict leasing, so they can institute the 13th Amendment, so they can do all these things against us and justify it in their own hearts. And nowadays they say, oh, we savages. Who made us that way? The Negro today was made in a lab. That's what the whole movie They Clone Tyrone is about. There was a lab underneath the hood with various different sections. The church, the liquor store, the dope house. You understand that? Right. The chicken spot. And all these various different places, there was an underground lab right up under it where they tested on Negroes to make them a carbon copy of what they wanted us to be. So now when they call us savages, they call us slaves, they call us uneducated, it's because they made us that way.
Damn. Wow.
And we in sin, so our God said, I'm forsaking y'all. I ain't dealing with you. You understand that? Go from there. Go to the, you had Abraham Lincoln, right? Go to, you had something?
Yeah, can I get Isaiah 5:20? This goes to the precept with what you just said, that they basically teach us in school that Columbus discovered America. So he's the good guy.
Right.
And then we were savages because we were naked. We were butt naked. So I wanted to show this picture too. IT, can you show that picture of the Aztecs? Because I went to the Inca Empire recently, and I already knew about the Aztec Empire. And I'm looking at how we used to live. They said we used to have, we knew how to take showers. We had businesses. We had the best highways and things of that nature.
Aqueducts.
Yes.
We had the first sewage system. It was
yes,
us.
sir. Yes, sir. Can you show that picture while we read the scripture? You can read the scripture. Isaiah 5:20, please.
The book of Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good.
God says, destruction to you Edomites that slander your mother's son, right? Your brother. You slander Jacob, and you say that you're the God, you're Christ, but Jacob the devil. I had Northern Kingdom, I raised up Black Christ, and they kept saying, oh, he's the devil. Damn. You're holding the devil. And then I show white Jesus, and they're like, oh yeah, that's Jesus right there. And I was just like, okay. Then I looked at the relatives of them. Some of them were darker than the Christ.
Right.
I was just like, hold up. So what's your aunt right there? Oh, no. She doesn't look like Christ. Yes, she does. She got woolly hair. She looks just like Jesus. Go ahead.
Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
So they'll say we're the ones that were savages. We didn't know how to do anything. Matter of fact, the good thing is that they taught us religion so that we would get out of idolatry. No, we learned idolatry in Assyria. So that's why we came over here with that spirit God, that sun God. So we just never let it go. But the Bible was already written from the beginning. Another thing that was Captain was bringing out in Northern Kingdom, I never heard, is that the Bible was given to us by Columbus and Cortez and all of these people. And then we had to show them the archaeology that we spoke Hebrew and things. They didn't know that. And guess what? A lot of them humbled down to Black Christ once we gave them the history. All right, but go ahead.
That put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
And they always do that, and they train our children. That's why it's imperative for our wives to teach our children their real history, because America is teaching our children that we're nothing. All right, that's all I got.
Absolutely. All right, go to that video real quick about Abraham Lincoln. So let's dive into the so-called greatest president of the United States of America. Let's see. On old President's Day, let's see. It's a video.
Abraham Lincoln remains one of U.S. history's most celebrated presidents. An essential part of his legacy is the idea that he abolished slavery.
I can't accomplish a goddamn thing of any human meaning or worth until we cure ourselves of slavery and end this pestilential war.
But is that claim actually true? It turns out that Lincoln's legacy is actually more complicated and far less heroic than popular culture might have us believe. Firstly, Abraham Lincoln was not an abolitionist. Lincoln did state that slavery was morally wrong, but this doesn't mean that he devoted his life to ending it, or that he necessarily believed in actual equality between black and white people. Although he claimed to hate it as much as any abolitionist, Lincoln still held that slavery was protected by the Constitution, which, at the time of his presidency, gave slave owners the right to capture and return fugitive or runaway slaves, and relegated slaves to the status of 3/5 of a free person. Actual abolitionists demanded that slavery should be ended immediately, and that freed enslaved people deserved immediate equal status as all other people in society. In 1854, well before he was president, Lincoln publicly suggested that he would free all the slaves and send them to Liberia, which had been established as a colony in 1821. Lincoln would hold on to this colonialist idea of sending black people to another country for years to come. In contrast, in the same year, actual abolitionists like William Lloyd Garrison openly criticized the US Constitution as a covenant with death and an agreement with hell.
Pause.
Burning it.
Go to Isaiah 28. So the Bible says the same thing. Read that for me.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
So this is talking about Israel first and foremost, the leaders of Israel. But today the leaders of Israel is the so-called white man. He rules over us. So the same thing, he even said, look, slavery is a covenant with death, and it's an agreement with hell. How do we know? Isaiah 5:13. Let's see what the Bible calls our slavery.
The book of Isaiah 5 verse 13. Therefore my people are gone into captivity.
Read.
Because they have no knowledge.
Go ahead.
And their honorable men are famished.
Read.
And their multitude dried up with thirst.
So therefore God's people have gone into captivity. Read.
Therefore hell hath enlarged herself.
What they call captivity?
Therefore hell hath enlarged herself.
Hell have enlarged herself. The hell is captivity. And all of the things that go along with the captivity. It's not just chains and shackles. It's the different policies they put in place to keep us down. It's the different systemic racism and things that they put in place to keep us incarcerated, to keep us down medically, to keep us down educationally, to keep us dependent on government assistance. That's all that. Okay? It all encompasses hell. You understand? Go ahead.
And open her mouth without measure.
And they open her mouth without measure. These people go deep into making sure that they destroy us in any way necessary. Go ahead.
And their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
So our people have made a covenant with death, but so did the so-called white man, because he is death and hell. And we have now made ourselves aligned with him, and therefore now we are destroyed. Our leaders have sold us out. You understand? Our pastors have sold us out. Our politicians have sold us out. And that's why we're in the condition we're in. Notice it says something about, go back a few minutes on there, or a few seconds on there. It says something about Lincoln I want y'all to see real quick. Go back. It was something that we missed. Go back to this whole video. And I want to show you something. Go back about, right here. Look what it said he wanted to do to the slaves.
To Liberia, which had been established as a colony in 1821.
He wanted to send our people back to Liberia. I want you to think about something. This is how you know this man the devil, man. You bring us over here against our will, enslave us, murder us, rape our mamas, you understand, that do much evil to us. Use us to build up the greatest nation on earth through our hard slave labor for 400 years, because we came over in 1441. Don't let them fool you. Slavery started in 1441. So from 1441 to 1854, that's what, 413 years, something like that? 413 years, we built up that nation to make it what it is. Then he say, man, just send the niggas back to Liberia. Let them start over again. Our ancestors over there ain't seen us in 400 years. We come back, they're looking like, what y'all doing here? Who are you? You understand that? I'm telling you, there's some wicked crap right there. Give me Jeremiah 22:13 right quick. Make it quick, come on. We got to get back to the video real quick.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 22.
Verse 13.
And verse 13. Woe unto them that buildeth his house by unrighteousness.
Build his house by unrighteousness. That's what America was built off, unrighteousness. Go ahead.
And his chambers by wrong.
And his chambers by wrong.
That using his neighbor's service without wages.
That do what?
Uses his neighbor's service without wages.
So he used our service without wages. We didn't get paid. Did you finish that?
No, sir. And giveth him not for his work.
And he didn't give us for our work. You understand? Keep reading.
That saith, I will build me a wide house.
The big house that master slept in. That's what that's talking about. A wide house, read.
And large chambers.
Read.
And cutteth him out windows. And it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion.
Vermilion is like a red, if I ain't mistaken, right? Look up vermilion real quick. Make sure I ain't wrong. I thought it was a type of color red. So they built up their houses, right? Go ahead.
Shalt thou reign because thou clothest thyself in cedar? Did not thy father eat and drink and do judgment and justice? And then it was well with him?
So watch this.
He judged.
Hold on. Give me a vermilion real quick. Because first and foremost, it's talking about Israel. But the same thing the so-called white man did. You got it? Vermilion? Yep, that's what I thought. Let's zoom in, see what it is. Go ahead.
Vermilion, a brilliant red pigment made from mercury sulfide.
Damn, a brilliant red color. So they would deck their houses real nice, y'all. Because every time you go inside the slave master's house, they always had like the color red or different type of colors on their walls and things of that nature. Front door red and things of that nature. So that's what it's going into. Go back to the video real quick. So he wanted to send us to Liberia, knowing that some of us were not from Liberia, by the way. And he already had Greenville, Louisiana colony, but he already knew where he was going to send the different slaves. The slaves from Pennsylvania, he was going to send to the Pennsylvania colony. The slaves from Mississippi, he was going to send to the Mississippi colony. The slaves from Louisiana, he was going to send to the Louisiana. He had already had it carved out where he was going to send us. He had a well thought out plan. But he abolished slavery. He was key. Go ahead, play it.
Onto this colonialist idea of sending black people to another country for years to come. In contrast, in the same year, actual abolitionists like William Lloyd Garrison openly criticized the US Constitution as a covenant with death and an agreement with hell, burning a copy in public. When Lincoln was running for the US Senate, he was involved in a series of public debates with his opponent, Stephen Douglas, who repeatedly accused him of supporting equality for black people. In their fourth debate in September 1858, Lincoln said the following: I am not, nor ever have been in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people.
Pause.
And
go back. Y'all, I don't know what y'all don't read. Y'all don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? You're black. You don't know nothing. So I am not. No.
It's in a book, a reading rainbow.
Never play that again. I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. Now, there's a scene in Dave Chappelle where it says he divorced his wife of 19 years because she was a nigger lover. That's what this is right here. He's being accused of loving Negroes. So he had to make it clear in this particular debate, said, look, I am in no way, shape, or any form involved in any niggerdom. That's what he's saying right here. I don't believe in the equality of the white and black races. I don't believe they should be voters. I don't believe they should be able to hold office. I don't believe they should be able to marry white folk, which we don't believe that either, according to the scriptures. But I'm just saying, he did not like black people. He was not in our favor, y'all. Y'all got to stop this, okay? Now go to Ezekiel 35:5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
Shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
In the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end.
The time of our iniquity having end, y'all, is the Emancipation Proclamation. When we were supposed to be set free in what, 1880 or 1865 was when it actually went through, 1863 when it was initially put forth. But 2 years later, when everybody had the news that we were actually supposed to be free, all right, when it was signed into law. But when our iniquity had an end, that was supposed to be it. We were supposed to be done. But what did they do? Zechariah 1:15. They didn't let it just cease there. They said, nope, nope, nope. We got to further the affliction.
Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
Go ahead.
For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
They helped forward the affliction. They made it worse. Black codes, Jim Crow laws, the 13th Amendment, convict leasing, right? The different black banks that they had set up for us, right? That they eventually stole all our money out of. Bombing of Black Wall Street. The instituting of the Confederacy, right? The daughters of the Confederacy that just basically put things in place to help push the Confederacy as if the Confederate flag is something to actually honor when it's actually the celebration of losers because they lost. You understand? So they helped further the affliction. They made it worse. Okay? Give me the Corwin Amendment. Corwin Amendment. I think Officer Michael posted this. Did you post this? No, you posted something about the Nuremberg, right? Read that real quick, the Corwin Amendment. Let's see what that is. So Abraham Lincoln wasn't fighting to free the slaves, y'all. He wasn't. That's a lie. Pull that up real quick. It's the next thing I had. Yep, let's read that.
The Corwin Amendment is a proposed amendment to the United States Constitution that has never been adopted, but owing to the absence of a ratification deadline, could still be adopted by state legislatures. It would shield slavery within the states from federal constitutional amendment process and from abolition or interference by Congress. Although the Corwin Amendment does not explicitly use the word slavery, it was designed specifically to protect slavery from federal power.
To protect slavery from federal power. The Corwin Amendment was set up to protect slavery from political and federal power, where they could not take the slaves or free the slaves. That's what the Corwin Amendment was about. Now, when the Corwin Amendment was put in place, it was put in place to make sure that our forefathers never left the plantation. They never intended of truly freeing us from slavery. This was put in place to hold that back. That's why we read in Ezekiel chapter 35 and Zechariah chapter 1, they helped forward the affliction when our iniquity was supposed to have an end. Now, you think the Corwin Amendment was something that wasn't known to the public? No, it was known to everybody. Everybody knew it. All of the southern states were fighting for this to be pushed. They never wanted us off the plantation, y'all. Go ahead.
It was designed specifically to protect slavery from federal power.
Read.
The outgoing 36th United States Congress proposed the Corwin Amendment on March 2nd, 1861, shortly before the outbreak of the American Civil War, with the intent of preventing that war and preserving the Union. It passed Congress, but was not ratified by the requisite number of state legislatures.
So they were like, look, man, don't do this. Let's not fight each other. Let's just keep these Negroes where they are. And your boy Abraham Lincoln was the only one that was like, you know what, it ain't gonna work. Keep reading, watch. Several southern states
attempted to secede after the 1860 presidential election, eventually forming the Confederate States of America. Several federal legislative measures, including the Corwin Amendment, were proposed during this period in the hope of their reconciling the sections of the United States or avoiding the secession of the border states.
Yep.
Senator William H. Seward and Representative Thomas Corwin, Republicans and allies of President-elect Abraham Lincoln, introduced the Corwin Amendment, which was endorsed by the outgoing President James Buchanan. Because it was only ratified in a handful of northern states and Kentucky, the amendment failed to achieve its goals of preventing civil war and preserving the Union. Ultimately, it fell out of favor during the Civil War.
So Lincoln was also a part of that, trying to be able to put something in place to protect the Union and still be able to keep the slave master with their slaves. So for those of you that don't read and don't know that type of stuff, it's because you haven't truly searched it out. I can search this out with a quick Google search. Why can't the rest of the world do it? Because they're not looking to, because they all racist. All of the leaders of this particular country that we've had over the years are indeed racist.
Yeah. Yep, go ahead. That Corwin Amendment is the definition behind Make America Great Again.
Absolutely. That's what that is. That's the definition of Make America Great Again. Let's get back to our way of life. Right? Jeremiah 50:33. Give me that next video. Now, this is not a president. This is a senator. But I want to show you how what he said aligns with what we've been reading all this time. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah 50, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
So northern and southern kingdom were oppressed together. Go ahead.
And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
They refused to let us go. They put things in place to keep us. They say, no, we can't just let them just roam free. I don't feel safe with my daughter or my son walking the streets, knowing that Negroes that we once beat, raped, robbed, and murdered, and oppressed. I don't feel comfortable with my kids walking the street with those same people that, what did they retaliate? Let's put in black codes. Let's put in vagrancy laws. Let's put things in place to make sure that they could never rise. Let's destroy Black Wall Street and Mount Bayou and Durham, North Carolina, and various other places where they got their own communities, Rosewood and so on and so forth, Lake Lanier. Let's just drown a whole city. That's what they did. So anytime somebody tell me, pull yourself by my bootstrap, so what do you mean? Rape, rob, and murder like your ancestors? Because that's what that means, right? Because that's what they did. They ain't put themselves up by no damn bootstrap. They pulled themselves up on our back. Go to Republican Senator said slavery was a necessary evil. Let me show you how they think.
This is Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton.
Play it.
Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton, widely considered a potential 2024 presidential candidate, has faced severe backlash after describing America's history with slavery as a necessary evil. His comments came on the back of a new legislation he introduced on July 23 that seeks to prevent federal funding for the 1619 Project, an initiative by the New York Times and the nonprofit Pulitzer Center to reframe history around the time that ships were first thought to have brought slaves from Africa to America in August 1619, almost 157 years before the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The project also aims to highlight the contributions black people have made to the formation and development of the country, much of which has been overlooked or disparaged through its troubled history of race and race relations. According to a statement from Senator Cotton's office, his new legislation, the Saving American History Act of 2020, would pull federal funding for the 1619 Project to be taught in primary and secondary schools. In an interview with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Cotton described it as a left-wing propaganda that is revisionist history at its worst. And, by way of citing the Founding Fathers, also stated that slavery was a necessary evil upon which the Union was built, but that it was built in a way to put slavery on the course to its ultimate extinction.
Pause. You see this book? Let me excuse myself. This is some BS, man. Look, as the Founding Fathers said, it was the necessary evil upon which the Union was built. But the Union was built in a way, as Lincoln said, to put slavery on the course to its ultimate extinction. That's not historically accurate. We just read it. We just saw the quotes. He said, I do not want to destroy slavery. I want to save the Union. And if meaning I have to release slaves to save the Union, then I'm just going to have to do that. It was not to lead slavery to its ultimate extinction. Because then why did you institute the 13th Amendment directly after slavery then? In 2013, tell me if I'm wrong, Officer John. In 2013, slavery was just abolished in Mississippi in 2013. I was graduating college in 2013. My oldest daughter was 4 years old in 2013. You mean tell me my baby could have been a slave? We could have all been slaves over a technicality?
Damn. Wow.
So stop with this BS, man. They be lying, bro. Talking about it was a necessary evil upon which the Union was built. So that means the foundation is evil. How can you build anything good on an evil foundation? That don't make no sense. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hey, let me get Psalm 64. and read verse 2, and then jump down to verse 5. And listen, these Edomites are evil. And a lot of people think the Civil War was really about freeing slaves. That was not about freeing no slaves. These was white folks' problems. We were just caught in the middle of that cookie. Read.
The book of Psalm 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
You see that? All that's a secret counsel of the wicked. All that is a secret counsel of the so-called white man. Go ahead.
From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Go ahead. Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil
They
manner.
encourage themselves in an evil manner until this very day. They will use you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to continue to push their agenda, to continue to stay in power. If they can keep you dumbed down, they're going to keep this thing rolling till the wheels fall off. Go ahead.
They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
And that's the pride of them. They say, who shall see us? Then he out here telling these lies about how this thing went down when we just read, like Cap said, listen, it wasn't about freeing no slaves. It was all about saving the Union. The white man was trying to keep them together.
Absolutely. Hey, go to Daniel 9 and 12. Because he mentioned, he used some words. He said, slavery was a necessary evil. Let's see what the Bible says about slavery. Daniel 9 and 12.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9. Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judge us by bringing upon us a great evil.
You hear that? What did God call slavery?
A great evil.
So the white man said it was a necessary evil. God said, yeah, it was a great evil that I brought upon my people for their disobedience. Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
Because there's no race of people that has paid their debt that has still been oppressed in the way that we have. The Irish had a debt. They paid it off. Now they run the fire department, right? The Chinese had a debt. They paid it off. Now they get reparations. The Japanese, reparations. You understand? But we the only people, the East Indian, they had a debt. They paid out their debt. You do realize that many of the indentured servants that came to the Caribbean islands like Trinidad and Suriname and places like that in Guyana, they call them those East Indians that came. This is why Nicki Minaj looked the way she looked. This is why many people from Trinidad look the way they look, because it's a mixture of Benjamin and Elam. But Elam, Great Britain and the Dutch sent Elamites to Trinidad as indentured servants. They paid off their debt. Now guess who run Trinidad and guess who run Guyana? The East Indians. So every nation pay off their debt and they end up ruling the country. They end up having their face on the dollar bill. We pay off our debt. They said, no. Keep them niggas enslaved because we the children of Israel and the Bible is about us. And the only way we getting up out of here is to keep God's commandments. That's it. So the Bible calls what we've gone through a great evil, and no other race on the entire planet Earth has had to go through the evil that we've had to go through. So when he said it was a necessary evil, what he meant was this is God ordained for the children of Israel to be oppressed by us so that we can rule in these last days. He didn't know he was saying that, but that's what he was saying. He called it a necessary evil so that the union could be built on the back of it. You know what's interesting about that? Give me Job 14 and 4. I got to read it. I'm sorry. Job 14 and 4.
The book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 4.
Read.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. If the foundation of Babylon is evil, like he said, it was a necessary evil upon which the union was built, then the rest of the history, everything you built on top of it, going to be evil. I'm going to show you how. You have court systems that put people in jail for stealing, right? But you stole the land from the northern kingdom. So you cannot, it has to continue to compile evil upon evil upon evil. You can go to jail for rape, but you raped our mothers. A man go to jail for killing a little child, but you killed our sons and daughters. You hung them by their necks from trees. You had us put our money into places like Freedmen Bank. It was called Freedmen Bank for the freed slaves. And they bankrupted and stole all the money out of it, stole all our resources out of it. Black men have saved up their money for 40 or 50 years, put it in the Freedman Bank, show up one day just to find out the bank closed and all the money gone.
The hell is this?
After had just been released from slavery. These were the first generation of people that were freed from slavery. The Freedman Bank was set up by freed slaves. The white man came in, took all the money from the bank to put us right back on the plantation. That's what sharecropping was. That's what sharecropping was. That's what sharecropping was. To put you back on the plantation. You had nowhere to go. So you just go right back to Massa like you've been going to Massa. And he said, you know what, I'll pay you this time. But you got to rent out the hose. You got to rent out the tractor. You got to rent out all of the farming instruments. You got to rent out the land. You got to rent. So you paying all this money in fees. Before you know it, you ain't made no money. You done made 2 cents on a pound of cotton. Ain't made nothing. And then you going to tell us that we are wrong for being angry about that? I'm telling you, man. Hey, look, y'all keep believing in this place if you want to. Who raised you? Saving American, she said that, so Tom Cotton put in something in place called Saving American History Act of 2020 to combat the 1619 Project. The Saving America History Act of 2020 sought out to defund any elementary or middle school schools that wanted to say, okay, you could teach the 1619 Project, but we ain't gonna give you no money for it. We're gonna bankrupt you. You're not gonna have money for textbooks. You're not gonna get none of our government money if you're gonna be teaching about Negroes. Hell no. Or the evil that our ancestors did. What'd you say? That's extortion. So, hey, wait a minute. Ain't that against the law to extort? Not if you're the white man. Go ahead and play. They're going to say, oh, he hate white people. No, I don't. I'm just exposing your evil. Go read that real quick. The bill. Introduced Senate.
Yes, sir. Introduced in Senate in 723 of 2020.
What is it called?
Saving American History Act of 2020.
Saving American History Act. American history is built on the backs of our enslavement. We can show you some history. Go ahead.
This bill prohibits the use of federal funds by an elementary or secondary school to teach the 1619 Project or by a local education agency to support its teaching in public schools.
So if you support it or if you teach it, you ain't gonna get no money. What that sound like? When they tell Africa you can't get no money unless you accept American policies, unless you accept same-sex marriage, we ain't gonna give you no money for that building that we know y'all need, for that education we know y'all need, for them textbooks we know y'all need. I'm telling you. But we criminals though. That black Hebrew Israelites are a hate group cult. Then we're criminals. Right? We all deserve to be dead or behind bars, according to them. Wow. And these are your presidents and your senators and your governors that are putting this in place. Give me the next one. Andrew Jackson, the Slave Master. That's the name of the video. Andrew Jackson, the Slave Master. And read Psalm 73, verse 9. This is the white man. The so-called white man. He's an Edomite, according to the Bible. Psalm 73 and 9.
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
They set their mouth against the heavens.
They set their mouth against the heavens. They say God does not see us. That we're going to do what the hell we want to do to these people, and God will never intervene. That's what they say. Go ahead.
And their tongue walketh through the earth.
And their tongue walketh through the earth. Go up to verse 8. I'm sorry.
Verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression.
They speak wickedly concerning oppression. Go ahead.
They speak loftily.
When it says speak loftily, they mean prideful, high. They speak high. They make, listen, these governors, these senators, these presidents, they don't live like you and I. They got barricade. What they call it? I mean, what they call it? What they call it when they have the people surrounding them when they drive? What they call that? Motorcades. They have motorcades everywhere they go. They don't stop at red lights. They don't sit down and wait at restaurants. You understand? If they want to go to the mall, they shut the whole thing down for them to walk through there. You understand what I'm saying? They don't live like me and you, brothers and sisters. They don't see the oppression that we see on a daily basis. Therefore, they speak loftily and wickedly concerning oppression. The average senator make what, $1 million? $1 million a year? The average senator make at least $1 million. And they funded by the government. Listen, the richest people in the earth pay for the less stuff. Let me run that back for you because you might have missed what I just said. The richest people on earth don't pay for nothing. When I was playing in professionally, Some of my teammates had millions of dollars, bro. People would get him cars, get him houses, get him food, get him clothing, get him jewelry, get him laptop, give him their Beats by Dre. Why? So they can promote it for them. It's free advertisement. What's me giving you a $50,000 car when I know off your name I'm gonna sell 1,000 cars that are all worth $50,000? I'll make plenty of money off your name. I'll give you 50 bands I'll give you a car for 50 bands, no problem. I'll put a brand new speaker system in your car, no problem. Just go on your Instagram that has 20 million followers and just tell them who put your stereo system in. And when they come to Miami or when they come to Orlando or when they come to Charlotte, they'll come to me because you said it. So what do I have to lose by hooking your thing up for free? So the richest people in the earth pay for the less. In case y'all didn't know. All right? Go to that next one. Andrew Jackson, the slave master.
As he waited to see what avenue for his ambition might open next, Andrew Jackson tended to his farm and his horses and became a wealthy man. His admirers were soon touting the political appeal of a penniless orphan who had pulled himself up by his own bootstraps.
You hear this?
But the real story of how Andrew Jackson became a wealthy man was more complicated.
Oh yeah, bring it out. Yeah, total real.
Frederick Douglass. General Jackson has to own that he owes his farm on the banks of the Mobile to the strong arm of the Negro.
For millions of poor white Americans, many of whom had come from Europe seeking a better life, the ideal America was one in which they could prosper. To give them that opportunity, General Andrew Jackson had forced the Creek Nation to cede vast amounts of land in what would become Alabama and Mississippi to the United States. The treasured myth was that this was a place where white Americans could improve their lot by relying solely on their own hard labor. The harsh reality was that it was black Americans who were often doing much of the labor. Jackson himself founded a plantation in northern Alabama on land from which he had just driven the creeks.
Pause it. Did he buy that land? Did it say he bought that land? What did it say he did? He drove out the creeks. You know that Andrew Jackson was a general of the United States Army. You know that, right? He was a murderer, ruthless. So how did he get those engines out of there? How did he remove them off their land? I wonder how. What scripture? Is it Micah 2 that say that? Take the land by violence. Verse 2. This is how he took the land, y'all, for those of you that don't know. And that land became known as Alabama and Mississippi. And then white folks moved into that land. Go ahead.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
So they covered fields and then they take those fields by violence. They don't ask politely for those fields. They don't say, hey, how much would you take, or how much could I pay you for that particular land? Can we work out a negotiation or something like that? Nope. They say, hell no, we taking that land by violence. It's ours, we taking it. And they don't have to explain nothing to you. They don't owe you no explanation. They just take it from you and your ancestors. That's what the Bible is saying. That's what he's just saying right here. This is how Andrew Jackson really got his wealth. And he ended up becoming a president. There was a quote there earlier that he said that the government could work for the good of the people. Showing you right here, wasn't talking about the so-called Native American Indians. Because the government couldn't work for them because he removed them off the land to establish his wealth. I'm telling these people, man, they're hypocrites. Go back. Go back to the video.
Brought in slaves.
Jackson firmly believed that the slaves were put on this earth to labor, and whites are here to rule and to govern and to lead society. and they are at the top of the pecking order, they are at the top of the social order, they are at the top of the political order, and therefore they're the ones who rule. Superior whites lead, inferior blacks follow.
Jackson named his biggest parcel of land near Nashville the Hermitage. At the height of its operation, well over 100 slaves at the Hermitage called Andrew Jackson master.
He would have been a very paternalistic person, and he would have made the slaves think he was their mother and father and God all wrapped into one.
It said he wanted the slaves to think that he was their mother, father, and their God all in one. Mm-hmm. Play it. Watch this.
Enslave another person, another human being, you can't be a good person. You have to be a pretty tough, vicious, mean person to hold another person or 140 people in slavery for all of their lives.
When one of Jackson's slaves escaped, he offered a reward to anyone who would give the man 300 lashes.
300 lashes could kill a man because of the infection from 300 lashes on his back. Perhaps they would put some grease into the wound, some ointment into the wound. They may pour some whiskey on it, and which would make the man go into shock. But he could die from those wounds. He certainly would be ill for a long time. And that would remind all the other slaves, here's what you're gonna get if you try to run away from this place.
Though a few white Americans were starting to question the morality of enslaving blacks, the fact was that slavery was vital to American prosperity, and men like Andrew Jackson could not envision a world without it.
Human slavery was the powerhouse of the early American economy. Slave-grown products were the most valuable exports that the United States produced. Slave-grown cotton, slave-grown rice, slave-grown tobacco spilled out of the plantations of the South, crowded onto boats, enriched the harbors of New York and Boston, and then fed an appetite of a hungry and shivering world.
Pause.
And
our enslavement is what he's saying. Our enslavement funded the whole planet Earth. That's why the slave owners in the South were the richest, because they had free slave labor in an area where cotton was king. That's why they call it king cotton, or white gold is what they called it. The Edomites in the South are still rich off of that. Go ahead.
Right. Hey, let me get Psalm 49:11 real quick, and I'm gonna read this little small article here real quick about y'all hometown, not y'all hometown, but y'all home state.
Yeah. The book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
That's always these songs. No matter where they live at, they think they're going to live forever. Read.
And their dwelling places to all generations.
That's all their military bases, even places, wherever they go to. Read.
They call their lands after their own names.
Right. Everything, everywhere where they put their foot at, they're going to name that land. So I just found this up right here. It says Jackson, Mississippi. Founded in 1821 as the site for the new state capital, the city is named after General Andrew Jackson, who was honored for his role in the Battle of New Orleans during the war, during them old wars. I'm just gonna say it like that. But he was born and right in between, on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina.
Damn. So he done touched all three states. Devil, man. Go ahead.
Hey, Cap, I want to touch back on those stripes. Because the brother was going into how they will beat the living hell out of us until we were dead. There's a law on how many stripes you're supposed to give your brother. Give me Deuteronomy 25. See, Esau took the laws of God and he just went crazy with it. You weren't supposed to steal our land. You weren't supposed to put us on those slave ships. Like it says in the one of the scriptures, it said, you forward the affliction.
Right.
Read that, verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy 25, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judgment judge them, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked.
So when there was a controversy going on and the wicked got judged, this was the punishment. Jump down to verse 3.
Yes, sir. 40 stripes he may give him and not exceed.
You see what it was? It says 40 stripes you should give the wicked and not exceed. Esau exceeded way beyond 40 stripes. We talking about 300. And then pouring liquor on in your back to try to heal your wounds. Just so you could put the fear in the other slaves. Read on.
Lest if he should exceed and beat him above these with many stripes, then thy brother should sing vile unto thee.
See, the Most High laws were set in place to regulate and govern things righteously. Not to beat the hell out of your brother, then you go over 40 stripes and now he looking at you like, damn, you hate my damn guts.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So Esau is the damn devil the Bible speaks of. He gonna pay for every last strike that he gave our forefathers.
You ever seen that scene on damn, what's the name of that movie? Not 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, it was 12 Years a Slave. 12 Years a Slave. What was her name? Patsy. She was like his top, but he got mad at her because she did. I forgot what she did. He got mad at her. Remember the look on his face when he was whooping her back? He had so much tenacity and hatred in him as he was whipping the sister's back wide open. And he would not stop. Even at some time in slavery, they would put little hooks on the end of the whip. So cat of nine tails, and if they was hitting you with that thing, it would eat into the depths of your back, man.
Hey, Cap, that torture didn't just end there once they beat you. He said they poured whiskey. That was putting it lightly. Right. They would rub saltpeter in your wounds, lemon juice, rubbing alcohol. They would do all manners of torture. They'd leave you out there in the sun and let the flies fester on your back, maggots grow in your wounds. The torture never ended with just the beatings.
So that's the president of the United States did that?
The president did that.
Wow. President, happy President's Day. That's what they saying. Hey, happy President's Day. Some people out getting drunk right now drinking liquor in the name of President's Day. Black folks now. Crazy as hell, man. Lord have mercy. Go to the next video real quick. We done with that devil. Andrew Jackson. Devil the Bible speak of. And that's a cold precept you pull about how they named their lands after their own name. That's exactly what he did with Jackson, Mississippi. You're right. It was named after Andrew Jackson. Was Andrew Jackson the one that had a black wife? Or was that Andrew Johnson? One of them had a baby by the slave. Baby by the one. So that had to be Jackson. Yeah. Jackson had a baby by a slave. So our women weren't too disgusting, vile for you to sleep with them. Hey, when you had read in Deuteronomy chapter 20, hey, get that real quick in Isaiah 32 and verse 5 real quick. What you brought out, it said basically in verse 3, it said 40 stripes may ye give him in Deuteronomy 25 and 3. It says 40 stripes he may give him and not exceed, lest if he should exceed and beat him above these many stripes, then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. Well, God talks about politicians. Read that for me.
The book of Isaiah 32 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
Right, because you think they are there for your liberty. Like they're there to free you, right? They're on your side, especially the Democratic Party in this particular time period. You think that they're there for you. You think that their politics will help change things for us. Like Joe Biden. Black folks was doing, I always say, doing the electric slide and damn break dance and doing the worm when he was getting ready to get elected. You understand that? Brothers was belly flopping on their belly and stuff like that. Talking about Joe Biden, get rid of Trump, get rid of Trump. But at the end of the day, he came in and didn't do nothing for black folks. So read it again.
The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
The vile person shall be no more called liberal. Go ahead.
Nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Go ahead.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
The vile person will speak villainy. Go ahead.
And his heart will work iniquity.
And his heart will work iniquity. And what else?
To practice hypocrisy.
Wait a minute. Didn't Andrew Jackson say that the government can work for the good of the people while owning slaves and whipping them over their back 300 times? I thought it was for the benefit of the people. It wasn't for you and me. He said he could not envision a life without having slaves. Go ahead.
And to utter error against the Lord.
And utter error against God. To my in God we trust. What God? The God of forces, their money. Go ahead.
To make empty the soul of the hungry.
Damn.
And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
Wow. That's wicked as hell, man. Go to that, was it a video I had or an article? What I said I wanted? Was it a video? Yeah. No, skip that. Go to the next thing. Go to the article, U.S. presidents and slavery. Go to the article. Go to the article. Matter of fact, no, go back to that video. Let's start with, I'm sorry. Go back to that video, go to Washington. I think, go zoom forward a little bit to where he started talking about George Washington. Zoom forward. Yep, right there.
President wasn't perfect. The biggest flaw in his presidency was his failure to use his influence to call for an end to slavery. By the time he was president, he had long privately said that slavery was bad and needed to go away, but his worry of his own financial security prevented him from freeing his own slaves. Imagine if such a unifying figure as Washington went public about him being against slavery and freeing all his slaves while president. The country would have been so much better off in the following decades.
Paul, you remember that Edomite Cohen, the Michael Cohen, that's his name, the record executive that we saw that was on Breakfast Club? Remember he said something. He said any kind of hypocritical, Charlamagne the God said that, he said any kind of hypocritical for you to say that it's wrong for you to promote drugs and things of that nature and talk about black folks doing it, but then you condone it in your music. He said it is a little opportunistic, but I got a family to feed. That's what this dude just described with your boy George Washington. George Washington could have put forth the plea, say, hey, you know what? Free the slaves. But then the same say, like, shoot, but if I free the slaves, then I'm going to lose my money. You know what? Never mind. Don't free them niggas. That's what he said. He was okay with it because of the money, because of the finances, because of the political power. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Go to Andrew Jackson. Zoom forward to Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. I think he was in there somewhere. Yep, right there.
Law to ban the importation of slaves while president, but he likely fathered multiple enslaved children with one of his young slaves and owned more slaves than any other president in American history, and he didn't free almost all of them. Ugh, Jefferson. But that all aside, I think his biggest mistake while he was president was signing the Embargo Act of 1807. It banned pretty much all trade with Britain and France. Jefferson supported the law in order to avoid war with both countries, but it ended up devastating the American economy. The country lost tens of millions of dollars and tens of thousands of jobs. James Madison.
Why you think he was okay with that? It's because he was getting money off the slaves, man. He said one of the main things he didn't do, he had a lot of children by slave women, y'all. Go ahead, play it. Thomas Jefferson. That was Thomas Jefferson. Now we're talking about James. Go to the next one. I want to go to Monroe. Go to the next one. Go to Monroe. He should be in there. It should be coming up soon. Somebody said, where was John 3:16 during slavery? You're right. You're right. Hey, me and John, you were talking earlier. Tell me what you said about George Washington. He inherited slaves. What you telling me?
When George Washington, I think when he turned about 10 years old, something like that, he inherited, when his father died, about 11 slaves. And then when he married his wife, I think her name was Mary Curtis, she brought 80 more slaves.
Damn. So he inherited slaves from his father, who was a slave owner. Then he married into a family in which his wife had 80 slaves.
Hey, Cat. Hey, look, that's heavy. I got a book on that, and it talks about the slave that when they married their daughters to the slave master, all of them, they brought a bunch of slaves. That's why the other slaves had a different last name. They had her maiden name. You know what I'm saying? And his George Washington plantation, where he grew up at, is in Mount Vernon, Virginia, right where right before you get into D.C. You can go tour it. I went to tour it when I was in middle school.
So they would just pass us around. They would pass us around as slaves to one another. Drop that. Oh yeah, go James Monroe. Yeah.
mistake was signing the Missouri Compromise. I used to be more indifferent about the law, but after learning more about it, I can more confidently now say it was a major cause of the Civil War. The Missouri Compromise admitted Missouri as a slave state and Maine as a free state to maintain the equal balance of slave states and free states that had already existed. It also prohibited slavery north of a line of latitude west of the southern border of Missouri, despite the fact that Monroe had expressed several times that he wanted slavery eventually abolished. This law, in fact, made the institution more permanent. Sure, it avoided a national crisis, but it only kicked the can down the road. The crisis would only get worse later on, and Monroe could have prevented it.
Right.
John
so
Quincy.
all of these presidents that we keep seeing, they were all in a position to end it, but they didn't because they didn't want to. Because they were going to be under political pressure from other Edomites that was like, no, I don't want to end this. We making too much money doing this. This is what our foundation of our country was built upon. We can't just stop it until we at least have drained every single life out of all of them and have had some things set up for when post-slavery does come into effect, we can have something to still keep them oppressed and down. And you see it's still going on till this day. Till this day. You understand that? Go to the article, U.S. Presidents and Slavery. We almost done. U.S. Presidents and Slavery. Go to Deuteronomy. Oh, you already got it already? Go ahead. We'll put it up next. Go
U.S.
ahead.
presidents and slavery.
Go all the way down to the. Hold on. All right, go all the way down to where you see the title, U.S. Presidents and Slavery. Or Presidents and Slavery. Keep going. Keep going. Yep, Presidents and Slavery.
Presidents and slavery. Until the Civil War, U.S. presidents were deeply involved with slavery in three main ways. First, many early presidents were themselves enslavers.
You see that? Go ahead.
Though their specific roles varied from deeply involved in the day-to-day management of enslaved people's lives and activities,
Like Andrew Jackson,
to more distantly involved. Second, presidents signed legislation and administered government policies that had important effects on slavery as an economic system. Finally, in some cases, presidential administrations were affected by the impact of political issues that revolved around slavery.
So these are your leaders. These are the leaders of your nation that are trying to develop a country, trying to develop a government, trying to gain respect. They could not gain the respect. They could not build that government. They could not fund that government without slaves. They had to have servants, people to help them build this country financially. And our ancestors just so happen to be that. Go ahead.
12 of the 18 presidents who held office between 1789 and 1877 owned slaves in various capacities. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James Polk, Zachary Taylor, Andrew Johnson, and Ulysses Grant. Notably, 4 of the first 5 presidents were enslavers, with Washington, Jefferson, and Madison owning several hundred people. Andrew Jackson and Zachary Taylor also owned about 200 and 300 respectively. John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, and Abraham Lincoln were the only presidents not to own slaves in these years.
Right, but we still understand the things that they did, though. They were not against it. You understand? Even Abraham Lincoln literally said, look, if I can save the Union, I don't care nothing about these folks. I don't care nothing about releasing these people. Like I said, these are your leaders. Go to Sirach 10. These are your leaders. Let's see what the Bible says regarding the leader. What the Edomite always say? The rate of the, what did he always say? The rate of the leader determine the pack, turn the rate of the pack or something like that. Let's see. Verse 1.
Verse 1. The book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1. Bring it out. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Read.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
So if your president owns slaves, what are the rest of the people in the city going to be like? What are the governors and the senators going to be like? What are the local politicians, the congressmen and the aldermen and the police chief and the fire chief and what are they all going to be like? The owners of the hospitals and things of that nature. What they going to be involved in? Enslaving of other people. Because because they call them the founding fathers. They are the founders of the nation. Meaning however they set forth for the nation and the direction of the nation, it has to constantly go back to that principle or else it won't work. You can develop new tactics and kind of hide it, but it still won't work unless you have slaves. That's it. That's it. Job 14, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, if I could do this real quick. IT, can you put the you ever see Planet of the Apes 2001? Yep. Can I show this real quick? I want the pictures before I get the video. But in that movie, and they're making a lot of those movies, they're coming out with a new one where basically the black man has already won everything. The whole world is under us now because we're supposed to be those monkeys. But IT, can you put that picture up real quick? Can you read this right there? Look, when the white man lands in another planet, another time, watch what it says.
In this temple, as in the hearts of the apes.
It's supposed to say the Union because Abraham is the temple of Abraham in Washington, D.C. Go ahead.
For whom he saved the planet.
The Union.
The memory of the general fade.
So he was the monkey in 2001 that hated Edomites. He hated humans. All right, go ahead.
Is enshrined forever.
All right, now give me the next little article. Watch. Right there, right from the top. Look what he stands for.
General Thrade was an ambitious and brutal leader, along with his guerrilla friend Attar.
So Abraham Lincoln was a what? A brutal leader. Read.
Of the ape army who passionately hated all things human and wanted all them exterminated.
So Abraham Lincoln hated black people and wanted what?
All them who passionately hated all things human and wanted them exterminated.
Go ahead.
Thade had a distinctive hatred of Captain Leo Davidson, starting with their meeting where they had a staring moment and telling Attar.
Go ahead to the pet part. While willing to get a pet.
While willing to get a pet human child for his niece.
So that when you see those movies where they have the little black girl running with the little black slave, that's what Abraham Lincoln was about. So even though in this movie they they put it as like a twist at the end of the movie, but it's showing you what he really felt, like what Abraham was about. Go ahead.
While willing to get a pet human for his niece, Thade himself believed the world would be a better place if all humans were killed.
That's what Abraham believed right there. So I just wanted to get that part right there.
Absolutely. All praise to the Most High. I see the correlation. So that goes back into what we're going over right now about why these U.S. presidents and how these U.S. presidents were able to establish this particular nation. Now, give me Isaiah 14:21. That's why God say this. Isaiah 14:21. Did you get Job? Read Job real quick one more time. I know we read it earlier, but I'm going to read it again.
The book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
So who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Who can make this country clean? Go ahead.
Not one.
Not one. You cannot do it. You cannot make this place clean. It was established on blood. Go to Habakkuk 2:12 real quick.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12.
Yes.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity.
And establishes his city by iniquity. That's the way this place was established. It was established upon the backs of iniquity, sin, slavery, rape, rob, murder, pillaging, 300 lashes in a man's back, knowing that that's going to put him on the brink of death, if not kill him. You understand? Now go to what I had you have, Isaiah 14:21. That's why the Bible said this.
14:21.
Bring it out.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
The Bible said prepare slaughter for his children. Why?
For the iniquity of their fathers.
For the iniquity of their fathers. The Lord says prepare slaughter for his children because of the sins that their forefathers did. Why? Because the children are their forefathers. Have the same mind of their forefathers and will not relinquish the thing that their forefathers stole. Remember I showed y'all that video of that young black boy that was trying to get all these white folks to be on his side on his TikTok? And I went in this group. I said, well, ask them just to give back everything that they stole. And they started attacking me in the comments. And I added him. I said, bro, don't you see this? Everything that you've been saying about them not being racist, they're showing it to you. They're not willing to give up their liberties. They're not willing to give up. That's why the Bible says this place is unclean. You can't bring a clean thing out of it. You can't bring a good Edomite out of this. You can't bring an Edomite that's willing to help us and get us back to our promise. You can't do them. They're not going to do it. They're not made to do it. The spirit in them ain't upright. They start saying, well, you know what? Technically, I wasn't there. I know that the money in my father's bank account came from my great-great-great-great-grandfather owning slaves, and that's the reason that the university is named after my family, and the gym is named after my family, and the library is named after my family, and the dorm is named after my family, and the suite that's up top is where my father stayed, and his father stayed, and his father stayed. But you know what? I worked hard by actually going to class and getting a good GPA, and therefore I deserve everything that I have.
The hell is this?
You're like, damn. When you break it down like that, you're like, hold on, wait a minute. The reason you was able to get that is because of my ancestors being your ancestors' slaves. That's why you have this privilege. It's already laid out for you. You already have a job. You realize that, right? When we get out of college, we trying to figure out how the hell we're gonna get a job quick enough to pay off these damn student loans. When they get out of college, they already got money in the bank account, a paid off car, a car that was put in their name when they were 17 years old. Now they 22, 23, graduating college. The car paid off. Their credit is through the damn roof. Remember Donald Trump? He said, my father gave me a small loan of $1 million. And that's how I started my business. It was only a small loan of $1 million. I mean, I had to pay it back, guys. It was, give me that, read it again. Go ahead, what you about to say?
I was going to say, Cap, one of my bosses told me, he said, I ain't working for my kids no more. I work for my grandbabies.
Damn. We trying to figure out if we're going to even have them. If our grandbabies going to even see the light of day. You understand? They ain't going to get killed in the womb. 19 million since 1974, right? Black women have killed 19 million babies. We don't even know if I was going to make it into this earth. And they thinking about what they going to do for their great-grands. Right. Read that for me.
Going from the top
Yep.
again. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Read.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
Go ahead.
That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities, because they know what they're going to do. Based off our backs of our enslavement, they're going to take the like, for instance, the Colosseum that was built in Rome was built off of them stealing all of our gold and all of our jewelry and all of our riches out of the temple in 70 AD. When Titus and Vespasian came into the temple in 70 AD and stole everything from us, they went and built all of Rome with the money. But they're going to tell you, oh, Rome is a great city, and it was, no, 40,000 slaves built Rome. Look, there you go right there. That was built. Now, you see how they look right now? When that was originally built, y'all, that was white stone marble, granite, the best of the best, limestone, vermilion. That's what that was made out of, y'all. Valentine, all these different types of stone and relics and things that you've never seen, outlined in gold. It didn't look like it looked right now. This is since what, 70 AD, 80 AD. It is 20. This is 2,000 years old, brothers and sisters. That's why it looked like that. 2,000 years ago, that was immaculate. And where they get the wealth from that from? That's why Bishop and them always taught us, if they give us reparations, they got to give us the earth. They can't just give us, all of us, $100,000 or $20 million. No, we need the world. Because everything that was built on this earth was built off our backs. So you foolish if you say anything otherwise. You devil. Now, I got to get up out of here in a second. The true history of America's private prison industry. Give me that real quick. The true history of America's private prison industry. So the Lord said prepare slaughter for their children. Come on now. Hear me out. Let me get through this so I can get out the way for leadership.
The true history of America's private prison industry.
Go down real quick. Let's just read the first paragraph.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Before founding the Corrections Corporation of America, a $1.8 billion private prison corporation known as Core Civic, Terrell Don Hutto ran a cotton plantation the size of Manhattan.
God, man, go ahead.
There, mostly black convicts were forced to pick cotton from dawn to dusk for no pay. It was 1967.
Hold on, no. That's 1767.
It was 1967.
1667. That's a typo.
It was 1967.
In 1967, the civil rights movement was going on, brethren.
Huh?
Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Go ahead.
It was 1967, and the Beatles' All You Need Is Love was a hit.
Red.
But the Men in the Field sang song with lyrics like, "Oh master, don't you whoop me, I'll give you a $50." Hutto's family lived on the plantation and even had a houseboy, an unpaid convict who served them.
What year was this? This was like 1737 or something like that.
1967.
Go on down. Go ahead.
At the time, most prisons in the South were plantations. In some states, certain inmates were given guns and even whips and empowered to torture those who didn't meet labor quotas.
So some of you may be like, that ain't true. You ever seen the movie Life? They was on a plantation in Jackson, Mississippi. Am I wrong? They called it Camp 8, Camp 7, Camp 6. Those were all plantations. I'll hip you to something else. There's a prison in Mississippi called Parchman Prison. You know what I'm talking about. Parchman's on a plantation. They got the worst sewage, the worst food, the worst air conditioning, the worst bars, the worst corrections, all that. The worst cells. They don't get heat in the winter and they don't get cool air in the summer. When during COVID-19, brothers was dying in that joint. Family members was calling out like, yo, get me out of here. To the point to where the U.S. government had to come down, observe the conditions and say, yo, get these people out of here. Transfer them to a hospital. They dying in here. We had family members calling us saying, yo, my cellmate just died from COVID. He right here, he dead. And he been dead for 3 days and they ain't came and got him yet. That's Parchman Prison in Mississippi right now in 2022, 2021, 2020. The hell you mean? And in 1967, this same thing was going on. $1.8 billion industry, private prisons. Go to the next article. Y'all think it's a game. This is not a game.
You gonna learn today.
Y'all better wake up, man. Oh, these Hebrew Israelites, all they do is go find articles about some of the evils that are happening in society, but everybody does evil. Shut up. Play that. I'm tired of these Negroes. I'm telling you that if any of these urban apologists come up to camp, just give me the mic. I am finna unleash on these dudes with historical data because I'm sick of these dudes and they damn delusion that they under, man.
Right.
Just don't come to the camp. I'm telling you, we will embarrass you, man. Go ahead.
Trump's first year has been the private prison industry's best.
Wait a minute. Trump's first year has been the private prison industry's best year. Wait a minute. Better than 1.8 billion in the 1960s?
Better.
Let's go down real quick. Let's read this. Is this what I want? Yes.
Exactly 17 months ago in August of 2016, back when most election polls had Hillary Clinton clinching the 2016 presidential election, the Obama administration announced that it would end the Justice Department's reliance on private prisons. The announcement came 7 days after DOJ's Inspector General called on the Federal Bureau of Prisons to more rigorously oversee its contracts with private prison companies.
So Obama was like, look at this. We finna look deeper into what these private prisons been doing all these years. Go ahead.
The IG's report found that private prisons at the federal level consistently failed to measure up to federal standards.
They was in there abusing folks, y'all, just for the money, man. Go ahead.
In preventing dangerous conditions, intercepting contraband, and ensuring internal accountability for staff misconduct.
Staff was in there whooping our people's ass, raping the women, raping the men, letting people come into their cell in the middle of the night and stab them up and kill them and not doing nothing for it. But stuff you be seeing on television, a lot of that stuff real. A lot of these correctional officers wicked as hell. Don't let it fool you. What you got?
Cap, I seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Go ahead.
Correctional officers would allow inmates to bring in. They give them a 38 pistol and 6 bullets. All the correction officer wanted was about $3,500. Or they bring them a whole set of butcher knives, a pound of weed. I saw this with my own 2 eyes. A McDonald's 4 for $4, a set of butcher knives, a pound of weed, and tobacco all wrapped up together, and the correction officer walked it through the door and gave it to the inmates.
You see that? So this is going off experience. This ain't nothing we lying about. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Core Civic and CEO.
Remember Core Civic in 1967? That was run by a man named, what is Hutto, is his name?
Yes, sir. Terrell Don Hutto.
Terrell Don Hutto, $1.8 billion industry in 1967. This same company all of a sudden come back. Now it says the shares of the private prison titans tanked in 2016. But go ahead.
Core Civic and GEO's groups stock both ended the day down more than 35 and 39% respectively, an indication that the nation's largest for-profit prison corporations' profitability might be on the wane. The day after the announcement, GEO Group CEO George Zoley stated in a conference call, "There's been an overreaction to the news about the contracts. We think in time, this will correct itself." Even George Zoley couldn't have predicted today's turnaround.
Wait a minute, hold on. All of a sudden, he come out and say, there's been an overreaction to the news about the contracts. We think in time, this will correct itself. Okay. I wonder what news he got to make him say, no, we all right. Keep reading.
With the election of Donald Trump to the White House a few months later, Zoley's prescient statement of an overreaction made him look like a fortune teller.
Made him look like he was a prophet. Go ahead.
On November 7, 2016, when the closing bell of the American Stock Exchange rang, and before any sense of who the 45th president of the United States would be, Core Civic traded at a 14.36, and GEO Group stood at 15.93. Following Trump's electoral victory, private prison company stock skyrocketed.
Damn.
Today, Core Civic is trading at 23.19, a 61% increase. And GEO's Group is trading at 23.03, a 45% increase. And for good reason. The Trump administration is a godsend for the private prison industry.
Wait a minute. Wait. What does your president have to do with the private prison industry? What did he try to undo that Obama then was supposedly trying to do that caused the stock in the private prison industry to go down?
You don't find that
What did he do? You don't, what'd you say, Umar? What'd you say?
You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? I'm telling you, some of y'all don't know what the hell going on the earth today. Go to Isaiah 42:22 right quick. I wonder what happened.
The book of Isaiah 42 and verse 22.
Come on.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes.
Read.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Where we at?
Hid in prison houses.
And what else?
They are for a prey.
Who we are for a prey of? Who are we for a prey of? We are for a prey for the so-called white man that owns these private prisons. It is. You can buy into it on the stock market. Michael Jordan, many celebrities that everybody claim to know and love, we all know have invested in private prisons and black men going to jail. So when you buy the Jordan shoes, then a nigga rob you for the Jordan shoes, you shoot the nigga, you go to jail, Jordan got paid for the shoes that you bought, and Jordan get paid for you going to jail. Right. Come on, man. Read it again.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses.
Read.
They are for a prey, and none delivereth.
Nobody delivers us. Go ahead.
For a spoil, and none saith restore.
And nobody say, hey, why don't you restore those people? Remember, we read in the article that private prisons, they weren't really set up to rehabilitate people. Remember, prison is set up to rehabilitate you. If you're not in there for life, look, we're giving you 10 years, and in these 10 years, we want to see you rehabilitated so that you can go back out into society and be a productive adult in society. Prisons don't do that. When they send you there, they sending your black behind in there forever. They want you in there forever. Why? Because they got people that are investing in this. And when they invest in this, the more inmates, the more money they make. And guess who was in the midst of this? A U.S. president. Which means he got the same spirit as Andrew Jackson. He got the same spirit as George Washington, as Monroe, as what was the other one? Oh, Abraham Lincoln. They all the same. It's about the money. It's about the power. And it's about hatred and racism. You looking at it right here.
Message.
Keep going. You finish that out? Yes, sir. Read 25.
Verse 25.
No. Yes, 25.
Verse 25. Therefore, he had poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and he had set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not.
Our people don't even know why they going through this. We try to bring the Bible to them, and they say, man, get that Bible out of my face. Ain't no God because of what I've been through. No. There is a God. Get that Christian God out your... God a black man. Black men don't play with their kids. God a black man. He ain't playing with us. Hey, yo, did I tell you to keep my commandments? Yes, sir. Well, why you ain't do it? Before you even say, because, wow, right across your face. I remember riding with my pops. He rubbed my back of my neck like, man, yeah, you know I love you, son. Wow, he just hit me on. I said, damn, what you doing, man? He said, oh, you thought I forgot you talking back to your mama, didn't you? That's what black fathers do. They make you think you good, everything's smooth, and then they come with the hammer. Shashing, right across your hands.
That's right.
We ain't playing with you.
You gonna learn
You understand
today.
what I'm saying? Black fathers got sarcasm when they whoop your ass. My granddaddy used to, didn't I tell you? He switched the belt from side to side. Told you, and get your right. We got sarcasm when we whoop your ass. You understand? Forgive me, y'all. I'm saying ass. Somebody will get offended. Don't get offended, okay? Don't get offended. I'm sorry. So the Bible says there's a fire lit round about us, y'all, and we knew it not. We don't know or haven't been taught why God has punished us this way, because the church and its political parties and educational systems have not taught us God's word. Go ahead.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yet he knew it not.
Yet he knew it not, and it burned him.
Read.
Yet he laid it not to heart.
And we on fire. We are on fire. We are literally burning. And the Lord is saying, I can pour water on you, which is Ephesians 5:26. My word, I can pour water on you to put that fire out. Just listen to the prophets that I'm sending. Remember in Luke 16, and we don't have to read it, but remember Luke 16 with Lazarus. Remember the rich man said, Lord, send the prophet to go tell my brothers so they don't have to feel this flame. He said, look, if they won't listen to Moses and the prophet, they ain't going to listen to one that came back from the dead. Send Lazarus, Lord, to go tell them. He's like, no. You good. You just stay over there in that fire because I told you. So it's the same way our people burning and don't realize that this water is set for them, man. They don't understand it. Last scripture for me, and then if they got something, if the officers have something, give me Revelation 18:11. Yes, sir. Private prisons. Verse 11. Yep. Read it real quick because I got to.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 11.
Read.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Go ahead.
The merchandise of gold
Read.
and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manners of vessels of most precious wood.
Yep.
And of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon. And odors. And ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
You see that? And slaves and souls of men. Brothers and sisters, the private prison industry, which was started by your presidents, which was helped push through by your presidents like Donald Trump and various others. The Bible says in America, in Babylon, they sell slaves and souls of men. This is talking about when Babylon is destroyed, which is in the future. So even now, until the time that Babylon is destroyed, they still gonna be selling slaves and souls of men. But you think slavery over with? No, sir. That's not what the Bible says.
That's right.
You understand that? All praise to the Most High. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, could you go back to Isaiah 14:21 real quick? IT, pull that article up that I sent you.
We ain't got time to read no article.
Okay,
Go ahead
my
and
bad.
read the scripture. I'm sorry, it's 9:24.
My bad, read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 21.
I hate to mess up your groove. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
So the point is the iniquity of their fathers, right? I just want to say this point here. What they call those presidents, the founding fathers of the United States. I just wanted to bring that part there out. It was a little article, but we don't got time. Look that up on, what do you call it, on Wikipedia, and you'll find out about the founding fathers.
And you can post that in the group on, you can post that in the YouTube comments so people can go look it up. I'll pray the Most High. All right, family, look, we got to get out the way, man. Captain Joel coming up next. I know he back from India doing the mighty work, grand opening in India. All praise for the Lord. And in 2 hours, we going by fast, man. I'll pray the Most High. So we got to get up out the way. Let's go and pull up our stuff real quick so we can get up out of here.
To help our people further escape the plantation, you can send donations to Israel United in Christ or via PayPal at iuic.raleigh.nc@israelunite.org.
So help support us, brothers and sisters, to do this work. Go ahead.
Hey, take a brief minute to pull out your cell phone and scan the QR code. This is to enhance our national broadcast. Hey, you can leave it up for a few minutes.
Yeah, leave it up there for about 10 seconds. So everybody can see it. Look, y'all, vote. Go and vote. Help us, make our broadcast better. We want the feedback, right? We want the constructive criticism. All right.
Escaping the plantation. If you enjoyed today's show, you can follow more content on our various social media platforms on X, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram.
Look, y'all, we had 19.5 thousand subscribers. Give us five more hundreds to get us to 20,000 so we can make our way to 30. We trying to build this thing up. Look, it's a lot of our people here in North Carolina, y'all. And people don't just watch from North Carolina. They watch from all over the world. All right, so help us build these various different platforms, all right, so we can get the word out.
IUIC Raleigh, you can call us at 855-484-4842, extension 7098. Or like I said, you can email us at iuic.raleighnc@israelunite.org, or you can scan the QR code on the screen to subscribe to our various social media platforms.
That's right. That it? All right, family. So with that being said, it's another edition of Escaping the Plantation 2.0. I'm your host, Captain Gedaliah. To my left,
Officer Issachar.
To my right,
Officer Nahum.
To my far right,
Officer Mishael.
And to my far left,
Officer John.
And with that, that's another edition of Escaping the Plantation 2.0. Shalom.